Are we on? Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Dr. David Snyder checking in with you. Welcome to Hidden Laws of Attraction, Mastering the Science of Manifestation in Maximum Time. For the next 2.5 to 3 hours, I'm going to be sharing with you some of the most powerful techniques I've discovered over the past 30 or 40 years during my manifestation journey. A couple of things. I just finished a little bit of a meditation before I began tonight's webinar. So if you see my spirit double hiding behind me, that's just my higher self. Don't worry about it. No, actually, it's my virtual background. I have a poster that I use for my seminars right behind me, and it sometimes, depending on how I move, it actually comes out of nowhere. So don't be creeped out by the spiritual David floating around back there. I am a little bit late getting started, so let me just look at who's in the chat. Special shout out to our loving Zoom audience out there, or our Zoom audience, as well as um, our YouTube family. I'll be getting your chat going in just a minute, guys. But just so I understand you better, I see a lot of familiar faces. I see a lot of new faces. So let's start with the basics. First and foremost, if you are a veteran of Planet David, type in your name, how long you've been studying our materials while following our channel or coming to our events, and what your biggest success stories or what's the biggest, most profound thing that you got from the techniques you learned in Planet David. One of the things that kind of separates everybody here from uh, from the average person, and I don't mean that in a disparaging way. I mean is that the people that are finding their way to Planet David have a very specific little uh, attribute, I guess is a good way. And you guys are looking for stuff that delivers fast, tangible results. You're interested in transformational processes more so than theory. And I love that because that's me in a nutshell. One of the things you'll hear me saying many, many times as we go through the content of tonight's webinar is that I don't waste my time on low percentage technique. I don't have time for it. I need stuff that's going to deliver me a consistent result every single time I use it. And so while there are a lot of really cool techniques out in the world, there's a much smaller grouping of them that always bring home the bacon, that always deliver the results. And that's what I'm committed to bringing into my life and through my portals and through our content to you. That being said, tell me in the chat, if you would, what's the most cool thing that you've learned, that you've used, and that is how it's changed your life? For those of you who are brand new to Planet David, welcome. We have an amazing journey ahead for you. For those of you who stick it out, right? Tonight's class is all about hidden laws of attraction, how to master manifestation in minimum time. Now, of course, manifestation means different things to different people, and different niches, for lack of a better word, have different ways that they go about manifestation. You have people who are very hardcore neurosciency, neurolinguistic approach, right? And they want the neuroscience and they want to know about your reticular activating system and your, and your three brains and posture and breathing and all these really cool, very tangible, third dimensional kinds of things. Then you have the people who are more motivational, right? Get into the psychology of things. They want to know how to motivate and inspire, how to clear the blocks to my success, right? They want to get into the psychology of manifestation and how to get forward in life. And then I call that the performance enhancement group, if that makes any kind of sense. And you have somewhere in between there, you have what we call the biohackers or the neurohackers, people who are going to use different substances, different tools to really optimize that mind-body interface. And then, of course, you have the people who are on the more, in a loving way, woo-woo side of the world. People who are more interested in vibration and frequency and quantum physics and quantum mechanics and how these things are used to bring about what you think about, so to speak. Well, guess what? Regardless of which camp you fall into, you just found the smorgasbord, baby, because we do them all, right? One of the things that you'll find in our approach to manifestation or transformation, healing, whatever, is that we're really focused on integration of systems. In other words, and this is going to be a theme throughout tonight's webinar, is tonight is all about how do you tap into the hidden powers of your own nervous system, to remove blocks to your success, to optimize your experience of the world, and finally, to become the person who can manifest the things they want in this life, to bring about their best life. And then once you have that foundation, how do you take it even further into this quantum physics world where thoughts become things, or thoughts are things, right? And they have a frequency and a vibration. Now, regardless of which angle you're coming into Planet David on, the one thing that I could assure you of is that they all meet in one very, very specific location, one specific crossroads, if you will. And if um, you master that crossroad, you master that athanor. The technical term for alchemy, where alchemy takes place, is an athanor. In the Taoist systems, the Buddhist systems, the Chinese systems, you might hear referred to the lower dantian, or the lower elixir field, right? We're going to talk about the overall elixir field, which is, for all intents and purposes, your very own autonomic nervous system. We're going to talk about how your autonomic nervous system manifests and modulates things into your reality, and how it removes things from your reality, or in many cases, screens them from your reality based on some very, very woo things, or what we would consider to be very, very woo-woo phenomena, right? So, that being said, let me just go ahead and get some administravia out of the way. Um, so Karina Rosales says, good day, good afternoon. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy you are here too. Edie from Missouri's checking in. Jan in Santa Monica, good to see you. Um, Karina saying, something interesting I learned, to realize how it would feel to already have what you want manifest. Okay. There's a lot of talk about that idea of, and there's a little bit of controversy around that, because people say that if you feel like you have it, then your system will go after it. But there's other people who say you have to become the thing you want to attract. Both are true enough to be true. You have to figure out which system your neurology responds to best. So that being said, let me go ahead and pull up the PowerPoint. I don't see a lot of activity in the chat. I'm going to warn you guys that I thrive on feedback. I'm a very interactive teacher. So I absolutely want you guys to be typing stuff in the chat. And hopefully I'll be able to find a moment to log into my other YouTube channel so I can get the other chat people in there. But let's talk about manifestation in terms of hidden laws of attraction. So one of the things in my journey that I've discovered is that there are certain laws that govern the human psychology, human neurology. There are certain laws that govern how the universe operates. Now, Newtonian physics, quantum mechanics, has given us a fairly broad and fairly rich understanding of these different levels of reality, or physical reality. But how does that work in terms of manifestation? Well, if you've studied law of attraction, then you've probably heard this idea that everything is vibration, right? That you will attract things into your world that are in harmony with your dominant thoughts. How many people have heard this idea that you bring about what you think about? In other words, you will pull into your life the situations, circumstances, and events that are based on your dominant thoughts. How many people have heard that somewhere? Type it in the chat. So Jonathan says, following for about 6 months, love the action. Excellent. Okay. So this is a pretty common law of attraction trope. It's something we're all taught. And to use an NLP term, right, it's true enough to be true. It's true enough to be true. The problem is, and this is where we get into one of the reasons, how many people have ever tried to use the law of attraction and it did not work? Any reason? Anybody ever have that experience? For sure, right? Okay, we're going to talk about some of the reasons why the law of attraction doesn't work the way we think it does, because we don't think the way we think it does. Think we do. Okay, so let me go and explain that. But before I do, I guess I'm opening loops left and right. You're just going to have to trust me on this one. Okay, there is a madness to my method. So first and foremost, tonight, I love questions, but the more questions we get, the more rabbit holes I go down. So ask questions at your own risk. I do love questions, though. You're going to need a couple of things tonight if you want to be super successful. A good attitude, right? I'm going to need you to put on your playfulness hat. I'm going to need you to put on your, hey, let's do this and see what happens. Because I can talk knowledge at you all day long. I could go for days and days and days. He says chocolate, obviously a veteran of Planet David, right? Lots of chocolate and caffeinated substance would be a very good thing. My webinars tend to go long because A, we're big on content. We're big on delivering you real world proven actionable things that you can take out into the field tonight and start putting to use right away. But we do it through an experiential format. In other words, I want you to do things with me as I guide you through them. I want you to have a very tangible experience so that you transform from the inside out. I want you to feel the shifts in yourself just from a few well-placed nuggets from the overall systems that we have here to share in Planet David. And I want you to have that because if I can talk to you all day long, and maybe it works for you, maybe it resonates with you, maybe it doesn't. But if I give you one experience, I give you one technique that changes everything for you in that moment, then I've opened a door, I've pulled back the scales from your eyes, and I've given you a glimpse into the magic that is you. When I teach my students, I'm always saying to them, ladies and gentlemen, you are literally made of magic. And all of it's locked in this little, think of it like an encrypted website, right? And you don't have the username and password, but if you could just log in, you could do all these amazing things. Tonight, with your permission, I'm going to take you as far as I can in the time that we have into logging in and accessing that material, and I'll point you in the direction to go to get the full programming catalog, for lack of a better word. Is that a fair trade? Is that okay? Can we do that? Can we do it that way? If you think that's fair, type it in the chat. We love that. Okay, excellent, Karina. Thank you so much. By the way, I'm really glad you're here. I'm really glad you're all here, right? If I seem a little bit mellow, it's because, like I said, I actually did this really powerful. I was in this really powerful meditation, right? Which I don't usually talk about my meditative life, but I had some major downloads and some major transformations come out. So you're going to get the you're going to get splattered with that, so to speak. So one of the things I want to talk about is, hey, have lots of things to write with. I prefer that you physically write the notes that I give you, okay? Rather than waiting for the replay, which there will be. Don't worry, there's always a replay. I want you to physically write, and if you remember, if you're old enough to remember how to write cursive, even better, right? There's a certain neuropriming that happens when you physically write things out. And I want you to take advantage of that. I'm going to teach you some of the most powerful secrets of tapping in and hacking your nervous system for manifesting, clearing blocks to success, removing limiting beliefs, and every other thing you can think of. Okay. So first and foremost, here's my disclaimer. Hopefully I've talked long enough that whoever is censoring my videos on YouTube won't pick up the disclaimer and think I'm about to do profanity or something like that. But if politically incorrect language, colorful metaphors, swearing, or the word boobies offends you, this is probably not the best use of your next 3 hours. Okay, and yes, I did say 3 hours. Our webinars tend to go long because we divide them into three different sections. The first section is foundations, the principles and the primary practices that you absolutely must have in order to leverage the technologies that we're going to give you and put you through in part three. So part one is foundations and fundamentals. Part two is all about getting access to the entire system, how to go from step one to step two to step three. In other words, we put together training programs and packages where you can take the nuclear pieces you've gotten in part one and you'll get in part three and get access to the entire system. So part two is usually where we show you the full buffet and we let you decide where you want to go with it. In part three, we're going to circle back and we call this the applications phase. And what happens in part three is, because I've taken the first two segments of our webinar to really get to know you, to figure out what it is you want and how to give it to you. That's where I'm going to customize the content of tonight's webinar to exactly what you want to focus on, to exactly what cooks the rice for you, if that makes any kind of sense. So I'm going to be dialoguing with you throughout this entire webinar. Now, I am going to go as fast as I can, but once I said, if this is the scope of everything there is to learn in terms of law of attraction, I've got time for this. So I'm going to take you as far down this rabbit hole as I can. Okay. And I'm going to point you in the direction of where to go to get access to everything and more, if that's something that you feel compelled to do. You feel inspired, like it's important for you to do that. Okay. So let's cover some fundamentals. Like first and foremost, oops, by the way, if you see me turn into a leprechaun, it's because my Irish nature is coming out. I'm teasing. I have this little glitch with my camera that sometimes it just spontaneously changes my zoom. So I'm going to ask you some questions. If you can answer yes to any of the following questions, you're in the right place. First and foremost, how many of you would like to attract more of every good thing you can think of into your life? Maybe it's the opposite sex, maybe it's the right relationship, maybe it's the perfect job, maybe it's taking your business to the next level, maybe it's helping your kids get to college, maybe it's just living your best self. How many would you like to be more charming, fascinating, and irresistible everywhere you go? Anybody here interested in something like that? If that's true for you, type it in the chat. If you'd like to banish fear and insecurity from your life, move through the world radiating confidence, assertiveness, and power. And this particular bullet for me is actually one that I nailed today. It was like this big bomb exploded in my spleen, and all of a sudden life was good again. It was a really powerful thing. So I'm going to spend some time talking about that. If you'd like to pull more money into your life, manifest more wealth, more security, more prosperity, in whatever range that means to you, go ahead and type that's for me in the chat. If you'd like to protect yourself from manipulators and evildoers and people moving around putting the evil eye on you, which is a thing, right? We call it clinical hexing in the neurolinguistic and the medical fields, right? We'll talk about that. It's a form of hypersuggestibility that happens when you're in the face of somebody that you believe has authority and they say something to you that your nervous system can't defend itself against. It's called clinical hexing, but it's a very powerful phenomenon, and it happens to us all the time, whether we realize it or not. In fact, it's consciously being used against the population most of the time. If you'd like to have people thinking and feeling and acting the way you want them to so that they naturally want to follow your lead, I invite you to go ahead and type that's for me in the chat. If you're ready to program yourself to be more attractive, surround yourself with lots of new, trustworthy, and loyal friends, to be able to inspire your children or spouse to do what you want them to do, maybe you always thought about being a Jedi, just moving through the world easily, waving your hand and saying, this is the person you're looking for, right? Go ahead and type that in the chat because it's on the to-do list, right? If you can follow the things I'm going to share with you tonight, you're going to have some master keys to writing your ticket in this world. But I don't want you to believe me, which brings us to one of the other parts of tonight's webinar. Nothing that I'm going to teach you tonight requires you to believe it. In fact, we've spent a lot of time here in the Snyderverse researching methodologies and distilling them down to a pure set of mechanics. Things that if you just follow the instructions the way we teach them to you, you will get a verifiable result. The only variable after that is duration and intensity. If you just start the process, you'll get the result. It's a really cool thing, right? And it's especially fun for me when I have people from the medical profession, from the scientific community who actually come to me because nobody can fix their stuff. Nobody can find the answer to their problem. And I just have them point to where they feel it, take something out, spin it, and their stuff goes away. And they're like, how does this not in the medical school? Right? Again, belief, not required. Okay. So that being said, if you stay on tonight, if you stick with me, I'm going to teach you the fastest, most powerful, and direct way to reprogram your mind, energize and tune your vibrations to magnetize yourself for unlimited success, health, wealth, and happiness using the real laws of attraction, which I'm going to close that loop that I opened previously in just a moment. I want to show you very, very specifically how to change your vibration to match the thing you want to attract, right? There's a little bit more to it than the secret led you to believe. I want to share with you how to remove the blocks to your manifestation success, right? How to maximize your manifestation in minimum time. I want to teach you how to get rid of negative emotions, fear, pain, limiting beliefs, stuff that you didn't even realize you had, right? That's one of the big ones. And now when I close the loop on you bring about what you think about, you'll understand that. We're going to do some drills to actually experience that together. All right. And finally, if you hang out till the end of the webinar, I'm going to give you the exact steps to go from interesting information to maximum manifestation in minimum time. So we're going to start tonight with the two most important factors for manifesting anything you want. From there, we're going to go into the 6 laws of mental dynamics and universal laws. I may do a segue into the six dynamics of an unconscious response. For those of you who have been on our YouTube for a while, you may have seen the last video I posted on the six dynamics of subconscious responses. That thing went viral. This has been a basic, foundational, fundamental tool in the Snyderverse, the Planet David, for over 15 years. And I never realized until very, very recently how few people actually know this, right? If you just go back and you master those six dynamics, and we'll talk about them again in this webinar, you will be able to confidently interact with the other sides of your neurology and get information that you can trust and act on that will allow you to move the needle forward in your life. Okay, that's my little dialogue on that, but I just wanted to talk about that. We're going to talk about something that we don't talk about quite so much outside of our private trainings or our AMAs and stuff like that. It's called body-centered energetic psychotherapy or energy psychology. Okay. And this is about how, remember I talked about at the beginning of tonight's webinar, how you have the people who are all about the body and biohacking and all the right substances and posture and breathing and all those somatic things. Then you have the people who are in the mindset world, removing the limiting beliefs and thought positive thinking and affirmations and things of that nature, right? Well, what's interesting is that when you look at body-centered energy psychology, these three fields that we talked about, from the woo to the purely material, right? That's where these all intersect. And this is how we begin to bring all the different aspects of a human being together. And when you start to bring things together in the autonomic nervous system level or through the lens of the autonomic nervous system, you get a whole that's greater than the sum of the parts. And that's a big deal because our universe is one of separation. It's one that pulls things apart and creates this illusion of difference. And so you have conversational hypnotists who don't reference psychotherapists. You have neuro-linguistic programmers who don't talk to body workers. You have social psychologists who don't talk to neuroscience or the neuropsychiatry and neuropsychology. You have all these different specializations of things, and there's very, very little intercommunication. People stay in their lane, right? But that's not how your nervous system was designed. Your nervous system was designed around synergy, harmony, and unity. It was designed for all the different divisions of your neurology to communicate and work together synergistically. And once you understand that principle and you know how to put the pieces back together, change becomes very, very fast. It becomes very, very deep, and it becomes very, very powerful. And you can do it practically anywhere. All right. At the risk of oversimplifying maybe just a little, there are some things that require deeper work, but not as many as you might think. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about that and how you can get access to those things. We're going to talk about the fastest acting secrets we have for clearing your past and creating your future. Right? These are again based on these laws of mental dynamics, the two most important factors, and this body-centered energy psychology uh, matrix that we're going to share with you. If you understand and you work with the principles, you don't need to understand all the science and the theory behind it. If you can just follow my instructions and do what I say, these practices will work for you. Now, you don't have to believe me. All you have to do is follow the instructions. And if it works, grab it, go for it. If it doesn't work, find something else that does. Okay. Bottom line is tonight is all about helping you take control of your life, mostly by letting go of it, believe it or not, and by putting things back together the way the universe intended you to function in this reality. So I'm going to teach you how to get the life you want, the way that you want it, how to master yourself inside and out, at least begin that journey. And we're going to start doing it right now. Now, for those of you who are brand new to Dr. David's the Planet David, maybe I should take a moment and answer the usual question: who the hell is Dr. David Snyder and why should I care, right? Well, first and foremost, I am a doctor. Actually, I have two doctorates. One is a medical doctorate in Chinese medicine from Pacific College of Oriental Medicine. And I also have a doctorate in Chinese medical Taoist Chinese energetic medicine, technically medical Qigong or shamanic Qigong and spiritual healing practices. These are very, very old, very, very traditional practices. I have a 10th degree black belt in the martial arts. I've authored over 15 different products on various forms of human influence. Everything from how to talk people out of pain, how to close sales and win arguments, how to tap into a person's vibrational field for healing and manifestation. Um, in the last 9 years, I've been named the #2 NLP trainer, sometimes the #1 NLP trainer in the world by globalgurus.org. Many of the products and the processes that you're going to be exposed to tonight are derived from either Killer Influence or our flagship hypnotherapy certification program, Identity by Design. So these are very powerful techniques that if you apply them to yourself, things will change. Okay. Our programs have been named among the top NLP training programs in the world for the last 4.5 to 5 years. I'm very proud of that, especially because a lot of the products that and courses that have won those accolades, we never promoted them as the thing that they were voted for. It's a very interesting happenstance. Energetically speaking, I'm trained in DNA theta manifestation technologies. I've been a Reiki master teacher since before Reiki was cool. I've been studying Kabbalah almost as long as I've been studying Reiki, and before Madonna even heard of Kabbalah, so I'm very much a pre-Madonna. I'm an advanced trained pranic healer and pranic psychotherapist. I'm trained in the Bankston energy healing systems, as well as holographic memory resolution from Dr. Brent Baum. I'm a master trainer in neurolinguistic programming. I have all kinds of martial arts accolades, so I'm not going to bore you with all the details. The bottom line is that everything I've done over the past 40 years of my life has been about discovering the patterns that govern the reality that we live. And by understanding these patterns and understanding how frequency and pattern relate to each other, you can begin to observe these things in action, and you can inject change into these patterns and create other changes or manage those things. So let's see here. So are you in the right place? Well, if you're here to take the randomness out of your life, you're in the right place. If you're ready to remove blocks to your success, get over limiting beliefs, you're in the right place. All right. If you're ready to take your life to the next level, this is where you become the best version of yourself. Okay, so let me see. I'm just going through my notes really quick. I want to show you this PowerPoint slide really quickly. So tonight we're going to talk about what we call the vibrational alchemy system. This is a flow chart from a course I've created many, many years ago. I've just mentioned it's called Identity by Design. It's real world hypnosis and hypnotherapy. In this program, we take our clients and our practitioners actually through a 7-stage process that allows you to systematically redesign yourself from the inside out. So the first thing that happens is we're going to clear the negativity from your life you didn't even know you had. It's kind of like soaking the pot before you put it in the dishwasher, right? And we're going to remove the special reasons you have for holding on to limiting beliefs and behaviors. If you've got something that goes away and comes back, if you've ever dated the same person with a different face over and over and over again, if you've ever gotten the same job in different cities and been just as miserable every single time, this is going to be your happy place. This is going to be something that is going to pay an extremely high dividend for you tonight, because you're going to learn how to actually get rid of that stuff once and for all. We're going to talk about default driver states. People need to move through the world emanating a vibration that is in harmony with the things they want to attract. Unfortunately, the default state of the average human nervous system is one of negativity or neutrality. That is not going to bring positivity into your life. It's going to bring negativity or neutral events at best. So in Identity by Design, we're going to show you strategically and systematically how to install these default driver states of playfulness, curiosity, victory, and relentlessness to move through as your default state, so that you can actually just emanate these things on a constant basis. From there, we're going to go into changing the internal dialogue in your head so that it becomes your best cheerleader. The one, instead of the voice that's constantly nagging you, tearing you down, giving you all the reasons why you don't deserve something. It's going to be the one building you up and sharing with you all the reasons why you can actually achieve something. I'm just going to a different screen right now, so just to bear with me here. Right. So now you can see me and you can see my screen. How cool is that? Right. Finally, we're gonna teach you how to remove the negativity from your past and take all of that energy and move it into your positive memories so that when you look back on the past, you only remember it in ways that make your life better. Okay. From there, we're gonna take all of this, all these techniques here, and we're going to install it at the genetic level. Kind of like if you're familiar with Dr. Bruce Lipton's epigenetic studies on epigenetics. This is where we can install all of these processes as default software, right? So that it's automatically running for you. Then we take the traits, qualities, and characteristics of people you admire, and we teach you how to overlay those skill sets into this neurology so that you can become the person you truly want to be and start to exemplify those skill sets. Now, obviously, even in a 3 hour webinar like we have, we don't have time to do everything. So I'm going to cherry pick from a couple of different aspects of this based on your performance tonight, based on the needs that I see in the group. And then I'll show you how to get access to the rest of the system if that's something you want to do. Okay. But I wanted to share that with you because I think it's important for you to understand that the nuclear pieces you're getting tonight, they're part of a much larger body of work, right? Now, you don't need that stuff. I get the risk of destroying my own sales, right? In the world of manifestation and the world of transformation, one or two well-placed changes can make all the difference. The problem is we don't always know what those techniques are going to be for us, right? Or when they're going to manifest. So my job is to give you, in the time that we have, as much experience and transformation as I can, and show you how to get access to the rest of the toolkit beyond that. But I wanted to share with you that whole identity by design silo because each of those pieces targets a building block of identity and personality. And the reason that we talk about identity and personality is because your identity is how can I put this in a very blatant way? Your identity will decide what you pay attention to and what you don't. Okay, how many people here have ever known somebody, by a show of hands in the chat, how many of you have ever met somebody who was just stupidly, ridiculously, unreasonably lucky? Like if they're walking down the street, right, and they step in a puddle and they reach into the puddle, they pull out a gold nugget, right? Or if they're walking down the street and they step in a pile of poop, they go to clean their shoe off and they find a diamond ring in the poop, right? Anybody know people like this? Jody Scott says me. Well trained, Jody Scott. Very good, right? Here's what's weird. People who are unusually lucky have certain psycho-emotional traits in common. Let me say that again. Say it two more times. You can always tell when I think something is important because I'll say, let me say it again one more time with feeling. That's a hint, right? People who are unusually lucky, who have a high percentage of serendipitous events in their life, have certain psychological traits in common. Would you like to know, no veterans, this is for the new people. Can you tell me, newbies, what that first trait might be? Just take a guess. Type it in the chat. It's okay. Fine, Dave. I won't say. Thank you so much for playing. Right? Come on, guys. Help me out here. Belief and confidence? Karina, very good guess. No. Believing they are lucky. Oh, so close, Jan. So close. I'm a vet from the other side, 0651. Okay. Confidence. They're extroverts? Yes, but not in the way you think. All right. So thank you. Thank you for participating. It was going to be a tough question, but it's also a trick question. Here's the thing about the first characteristic of naturally lucky people. They all have an identity that says, I'm a lucky person. They identify as being lucky. That's the first thing. I have people that actually change their name to Lucky just to capitalize on the identification principle. As you can see, I've gone into leprechaun mode. So I'm going to shrink my PowerPoint, go back to this, and here I am, I'm full grown again, right? So the first thing to understand is that these people identify as lucky. And I didn't believe, when I first read this particular statistic, and this is actually science, when I first, oops, when I first came across this statistic, I was like, nah, I don't believe that, right? And so the first time I taught the Get Lucky for Life course, which is a small course that we have available for sale on our website, I was teaching a meetup on these 5 traits of naturally lucky people. And as I'm preparing for the event, what's usually happening is I'm just chatting with people and I'm talking about, and within the first 10 minutes, 5 people came up, introduced themselves or raised their hand, and the first thing out of their mouth was, "Yeah, I'm a pretty lucky person. I wanted to learn more about that." Right? I'm like, what? And there it is, right on the science, right? So identity, interestingly enough, remember I said at the beginning of the webinar that there's 2 factors that you have to embody, 2 factors that you have to manage in order to manifest anything you want. The first one, my friends, is identity. Now, those of you who said beliefs and confidence, you actually are right, but in a slightly different way. So let me explain that. Your identity or the identities that you move through the world in are based on your values. They're based on the template, the checklist in your own mind and body that decides what's desirable and what's not. Okay? But they are beliefs. All values are beliefs. All the templates about what constitutes the perfect anything in your life, they're all beliefs. And all beliefs, this is what's cool, are built the same way from the same stuff. Regardless of how big the belief is, it's built the same way. And if you understand that structure, you can go in and you can take these gargantuan monolithic beliefs that have been running your entire life and in just a few minutes completely change it. It doesn't sound like it's even remotely possible. I do it daily. Okay. And the first person that we should be applying these technologies to is ourselves. Okay. Why? Because on a neuroscience level, right? On a neuroscience level, the body feelings that you have activate and stimulate a part of your nervous system known as the reticular activating system. Or some people might know it as the reticular formation system. The reticular activating system of your body is the attention directing filter, right? So, how many of you, by a show of hands, are actually familiar with the luck studies that I often quote when I teach this class? If not, let me just real quick uh, Cliff Notes version. The scientists wanted to test if this whole luck thing was a psychological thing, a karma thing, a biological thing. So one of the ways that they tested this was they rented a restaurant and they hired actors to play patrons, and they divided test subjects up into people who identified as being lucky, people who identified as being average, and people who identified as being classically unlucky. And they sent each group in individually, or one group at a time. And as you can to see how fat, and what they did was they placed a 20-pound note on the floor. This study took place in the UK. And what they did was they placed this 20-pound note on the floor and they sent the lucky people in one at a time. And they measured how quickly the lucky people saw the 20-pound note, went and picked it up and put it in their pocket, right? And then when that was done, they took all the average people, sent them in, did the same thing. And as you can probably guess, the people who rated themselves as average, some people saw the 20-pound note, some people not so much. Every single one of the lucky people found the note. As far as we can tell, the unlucky people are still trying to find the restaurant. But that's a different class for a different day. The point is that why? What was it about declaring the luck being lucky that made such a difference? Well, turns out that the reticular formation system, and you may have heard me refer to this mechanism in an influence contest as the emotional refractory period, right? If you ever watched any of my influence training videos, you'll hear me talk about the emotional refractory period, okay? It's the same mechanism. It's just in a different context. It's doing something slightly different, but not really, okay? When a person self-identifies as being lucky, they have an internalized program running that says, this is what I deserve. This is what's allowed to happen to me. And this is how my external world is supposed to be. Now, one of the jobs of your autonomic nervous system, and specifically the subconscious part of you, the part of you that controls your emotions, your beliefs, your daydreams, right? Its job is to make your experience of external reality match your map of internal reality. So if I have an internalized belief that says I deserve wealth, I make money easily, I attract good people into my life, your reticular activating system and everything connected to it is going to constantly be scanning your environment for things that allow that to happen. Okay? It will draw your attention to things that move that needle in that direction based on the internal architecture you've got going on. However, it will also screen things out that don't fit your map of reality, right? So I'll give you a very funny example, which again, he just recently passed, so he's not here to defend himself. But when I was studying the Bankston energy healing system, I learned the image cycling process that I teach for manifestation as in the context of healing. And I learned it from a very great gentleman by the name of Dr. Bill Bankston. And Dr. Bill was an amazing researcher. He was fascinated by this idea of hands-on healing and remote healing and how these things work. And he has, to his credit, the most documented cases of curing rats from cancer, from terminal cancer in double-blind placebo-controlled animal studies conducted on medical university campuses. Okay? He literally had a book called The Energy Cure, and he got away with it because he had the scientific evidence to prove that these rats that he was teaching this energy healing protocol to got cured. Okay? Now, here's what's funny. The Bankston energy healing system is probably one of the most powerful healing methodologies on the planet. But for some mysterious reason, Bill couldn't heal warts. For whatever reason, right? He would say, "Oh, give me terminal cancer all day long, thyroid cancer, lymphoma, whatever. All day long, I'll deal with that. Keep me with warts. I can't do warts." Now, his students can do warts. Why couldn't Dr. Bill? Well, he had an experience, created a belief based on that experience, and his reticular activating system said, okay, warts, no, cancer, great. Right? This is what happens when we go through the world being bombarded by information, being overwhelmed, and we create these random ideas about the way the world is. Right? So let's talk about the first law of mental dynamics. And this is the first one. It's called the law of primacy, or law of expectation. What the mind expects to happen tends to be realized. Let me say that two more times. What the mind expects to happen tends to be realized. So what you expect to happen is most likely to happen. But this is again where we get into this catch-22 of thoughts and other thoughts. So let me close some loops for you real quick. At the beginning of today's webinar, I said, the law of attraction says that you will pull into your world the situations, circumstances, and events that are in harmony with your dominant thoughts. Right? Here's the problem with that. They didn't teach you what your dominant thoughts really are. See, most of you believe that your dominant thoughts are the ones you're paying attention to right now. True, not true? Go ahead and type that in the chat. You believe that's true? I'm waiting, guys. Okay, some of you have been around way too long for your own good. I'm just going to stay in leprechaun mode because I think we need to focus on that. So, action Identity is one of the things that you'll see is very pervasive. You need to have an identity that supports what you want to manifest. Now, the problem with beliefs and thoughts is we have two kinds of thoughts. We have thoughts we're aware of and thoughts we're not aware of. All right, you guys with me on this? We have thoughts we're aware of and thoughts we're not quite so aware of. So the first thing that has to happen is in order for us to manifest, we have to clear up the thoughts we don't know, the limiting beliefs that we don't even know that we have. And that's where I'd like us to start. But before we go there, I want to talk about, before we go there, I want to talk about, sorry, I just saw Frank's squirrel and just screwed me up. All right. Maybe I should just keep that. All right. Where am I going with this? All right. It's time to have an experience. All right, everybody stand up. If you're going to be driving, don't do this, okay? Can everybody stand up? All right. People are having way too much fun in the chat over here. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do an exercise that's going to combine two aspects. The first one is going to be, it's going to be an awareness drill. The first thing that has to happen that is you have to create a vibration in your body that is in harmony with the thing you want to attract. However, the thoughts that you have that you're aware of and the thoughts that you don't know you have will often interact with each other below the threshold of conscious awareness and cause people to taint their manifestation. So the first thing that has to happen is we have to know what we want, but we have to know exactly what frequency we need to get there. And we need to get as pure frequency as possible. So the first thing that has to happen is we need to clear up stuff. But the only way that we can find the beliefs that are going to limit us from getting what we want is by provoking them. The only way that to provoke them is to go after the things we really want and become aware of our body in a whole new way. So, are you guys ready for this? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. And by the way, I'm facing a completely different direction than I normally teach my webinar, so all of my spatial anchors are completely verklempt. All right, but let's not cancel that. We're all good. All right, I want you to close your eyes. Now, again, if you're driving a car, operating heavy machinery, or doing anything that requires your complete and undivided attention, you need to not do this. This is an altered state process. It's going to be a very powerful one, and I want to make sure that you're completely safe. So if you do want to participate in this, then pull off to the side of the road. No, Frank, not a Tesla. No, 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 no. We don't do that. Okay? Especially because we're working with energetics, and it screws with machinery, it screws with electronics. So here's what we're going to do. If you want to participate and you're driving or operating machinery, turn off the machinery, put it in safety mode, secure it all, make sure you won't be disturbed, and follow along. If you're not operating machinery or you can't stop, then what I'd like you to do is come back to the webinar for the replay and experience this particular mini meditation when you get back. Okay, so first and foremost, let's close our eyes. And what I'd like you to do right now is I'd like you to think of a time in your life when you felt amazing. A time in your life when you had the most amazing, thrilling, fulfilling, satisfying pleasure imaginable. Now, I don't care what you were doing. I don't care who you were with. I don't care how many laws you broke, how many state lines you crossed, what substances were involved, if any. All I care about is when you stop for a moment and remember that amazing experience, that it's the best thing ever. I want you to stand the way you were standing. I want you to breathe the way you were breathing in that moment. I want you to see what you were seeing in that moment, hear what you were hearing in that moment, smell and taste what you were smelling and tasting in that moment. And when you got that, I want you to notice that there's a place in your body where those feelings start, where they grow, where they spread from. Take a moment, notice where you feel that, and point to it. And close your eye, look at it with your inner eyes and notice that there's a color. maybe even a series of colors connected to those feelings. What color or colors might that be for you, first impression? Whatever it is, imagine a brilliant ball of that energy floating above your head. Notice how the feelings in your body shift and changes with every breath you take, and every beat of your heart. That ball of energy begins to grow, begins to expand, begins to fill the entire room from floor to ceiling, from wall to wall, and all points in between. Notice how it wraps itself around you like an amazing blanket of pleasure. A cocoon, a shield, a suit of armor insulating you, protecting you from all bummers, all downers, real or imagined, while at the same time flooding your mind, flooding your body, flooding your spirit with everything it most wants, everything it most needs in an infinite, ever expanding, and unlimited supply. And when you know you've got that, I want you to breathe those amazing colors through your entire being. Let it fill you up like water fills up a bottle, like fluid fills up a test tube, like hot air or helium fills up a balloon. Anchor it in so fully, so completely, no force in the universe can turn it off or take it away, not even you. When you realize that's true, go ahead and test it. Try to turn it off, try to make it go away, and notice what happens instead. And when you're satisfied, stop testing. Allow yourself to come back to the room. Notice how different you feel, and type in the chat for me what you experienced as a result of this process. Karina Rosales says, was that heaven? Yes. Yes, it was. Jody Scott says tingles. Okay. So this is exercise 1. A, you have absolute control of your state. Okay, so write this down. Your body feelings, Ryan says warm and fuzzy. Excellent. Jack says complete happiness and peace. Write this down. Your body feelings equal your frequency. Right, say this 2 more times. Your body feelings equal your frequency. Okay. One more time. Your body feelings equal your frequency. You are walking around in the world's largest, most powerful organic antenna short of the planet itself. The dominant feelings that your body resonates at are analogous to its vibrational signature. All we did with this simple process was we activated your visual cortex, your sensory motor cortex, your olfactory, gustatory, and auditory cortexes. We lit your brain up like a Christmas tree and got you fully absorbed into a memory. Okay? That initiated a cascade of sensations, electricity, and chemicals in your body that resulted in a feeling shift and a frequency change in every level of your mind and body. This is how you tune to the universe, right? It was a little simple exercise. There's a lot here, okay? If you've ever heard us say, if you can point to where you feel it, you can change it, okay? Your neurology, your nervous system is designed to transduce and transform and recode every sensation that you've ever experienced. Functionally speaking, your body feelings equal your frequency. Now, here's the problem. You have 2 sets of feelings. You have feelings you know about and feelings you don't. Say that 2 more times. You have 2 sets of feelings. Feelings you know about and feelings you don't. Are you with me on this? It's important. Type in the chat. Excellent. Okay. So the next exercise that we're going to do is a calibration exercise. Remember that I said at the beginning of the webinar you will attract into your world the traits, qualities, and characteristics that are in harmony with your dominant thoughts. The problem is nobody told us what our dominant thoughts actually are. Same is true with feelings. Your thoughts and your feelings have to synchronize. Okay. But the only thoughts you can consciously manage are the ones you're consciously aware of. But most of the sensations in your body, most of the feelings in your body, most of the subfrequencies in your body are below the threshold of conscious awareness. And they're the ones that are limiting you because those are the feelings below the threshold of conscious awareness that are linked to memories and belief systems that say you can't have certain things, that say you shouldn't have certain things, or you shouldn't do certain things, or good people don't do this, or bad people do this. They're all below the threshold of conscious awareness, but they're running like a movie on an endless reel. And you won't know they're there. You won't be able to find them until you find a way to provoke them. Okay. In other words, in order to find the hidden landmines that are sabotaging or undermining your manifestation success, you have to provoke them. How many people ever watched an old World War II movie or an old World War I movie or a Vietnam movie? You guys remember, just type in the chat if you've ever seen one. If not, go watch like the Green Berets or something, right? You ever see when they're the platoons walking through the jungle and they come into this big open area? And the first thing that pops up is, uh-oh, minefield. And what do? They take out their little bayonet, right? And they go gently poking their bayonet into the earth and into the soil to see if they can find the landmine, right? Well, guess what we got to do? We got to poke the bear to find the landmine. How do we poke the bear and find the landmine before it blows up? It's actually very, very simple. You go for what you want. Okay. You see, you have different polarities in the body. Things you want more of, things you want less of. Things that say you can have something, things that say you can't have something. And if you stimulate one, it'll provoke the other. You guys with me so far? This is where it gets cool. Things are going to pick up speed really quick. All right. So here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to get out a piece of paper. When you get out a piece of paper, on that sheet of paper, I want you to type what I want to get as a byproduct of today's webinar. Right? I want you to write down exactly, if you've got nothing else from tonight's webinar, but this one thing, what would it be? Okay. When you've written that down, type done in the chat. I'll wait. It's okay. Okay, Jody's done. Let me just, okay. Step by step, I'm working my way to my YouTubers so I can get them included in this. All right. So here's what I want you to do. Underneath that, what I want, write this question and answer it. What's important about getting it? What's important to me about getting it? Just write the question, answer the question. We're only going to go one layer on this just to save time. Okay? Okay, Tammy says financial freedom. So Tammy, for the next level of this exercise, if you were to achieve financial freedom in the way that you recognize it, if you were to have it tomorrow, what would that do for you? What's important about that? Now, you don't have to write it in the chat. You don't have to write it in the chat. It's important. It's good enough that you write it on the piece of paper and you know what it is. Okay? This is again, I'm collapsing a couple of different drills. When you get the package, you'll see all these exercises in there. I'm collapsing them together for the sake of time so you can have the experience so I can get you guys leveled up to where I need you to be. Okay. All right, YouTubers, welcome. All right. You guys with me? Random says like, okay. Well, Random, if you're already manifesting the thing you want, what would you want to manifest next? right? So everybody got what I want to get as a byproduct from tonight's training? What's important about that? We got that? Okay, now, how many of you are familiar with this concept called affirmations? If you're familiar with affirmations, go ahead and type, I'm familiar. Okay, perfect. I figured you would, but I have to ask. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use a standard affirmation first. In part 3, I am going to show you a nuclear affirmation. I'm going to show you the exact structure that your nervous system wants you to talk to it in. Okay? But for simplicity's sake, we're going to use this particular process. So I want you to write an affirmation that says, so using, is it Teresa or Tammy? Using Tammy's example on financial freedom, I think it was, right? I might write an affirmation that says, every day in every way, I'm achieving more and more financial freedom. Or financial freedom is my birthright. Or financial freedom makes me feel safe, right? These are all very simple affirmations. I want you to create one simple affirmation and write it down. When you've written it down, type done in the chat. Okay, good. Excellent. All right. So here's where it gets interesting. I want you to take your affirmation, stand up if you can. This help. I just find is people can check in with their bodies better when they're standing than when they're sitting. So what I want you to do is I want you to become aware of the feelings in your body right now. As you do that, I want you to take your affirmation and I want you to start speaking it out loud anywhere from 5 to 10 times. As you're speaking it out loud, so let's using Tammy's example, right? Every day in every way, I'm becoming more financially free. Every day in every way, I'm becoming more financially free. Every day in every way, I'm becoming more and more financially free. Every day in every way, I'm becoming more and more financially free. Every day in every way, I'm becoming more and more financially free. Every day in every way, I'm becoming more and more financially free. Every day in every way, I'm becoming more and more financially free. Every day in every way, I'm becoming more and more financially free. Every day in every way, I'm becoming more and more financially free. Every day in every way, I'm becoming more and more financially free. Every day in every day, in every way, I'm becoming more and more financially free. Okay, now scan your body and answer these questions. A, how did you feel when you started this process, when you started the affirmations? How did you feel at the end of it? Just type in what you felt. Did you feel your state shift at all? Type it in the chat. Okay, Tammy says I felt energized. Lisa says this is true, right? Um, okay, so point to where in your body you felt the good feeling, where it started. Okay, now, how many of you, when you were giving your affirmations and you felt the good feeling starting to build, how many of you noticed that in the background somewhere was this icky, naggy, not so much feeling? Anybody notice that? If you noticed that or became aware of it, type that in the chat. Frank says it started everywhere and not really. Okay. Richard Cooper says me. Okay. Anybody else? Come on. I know there's more than 3 of you out there. Some of you didn't do the exercise. I'm betting, right? So Agnes is saying, yep. Me Sliving is saying yes. Barbara, yes. Tammy says, I'm still in a state from the first action. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have did that one first, right? So no weirdness, but only 50% increase. Okay, good. So some of you noticed it, some of you didn't. What I just gave you was a process for how to find the feelings and limiting beliefs that you didn't know you had. So using Richard as an example, when he was doing his affirmations, he started to have a good feeling. But what you'll notice many times when you're doing your affirmation work, this positive feeling will start to build, and it's supposed to. But what you'll notice many times is that there's this icky, naggy feeling in the background. And what most people try to do is they have a choice. They become aware of that icky, naggy feeling in the background and this big positive feeling that they're building on intentionally, and they consciously focus on the positive feeling. They try to ignore the icky, naggy feelings. Here's the problem with that. The icky, naggy feeling is actually the stronger feeling. Okay, it's coming into your awareness, because as you try to build a reserve of energy and a frequency to manifest what you want, the thing that's holding it in place is pulling it back down. And you don't know it's doing that until the force gets strong enough that you build it up. So the idea is, when you do this as a provocation exercise, you now have a body location where that negative feeling is located. Now, using Richard as an example, right? You can now point to where that icky, naggy feeling was. True or not true? Right. Now that you can point to where you feel it, you found it, you can unpack it, you can attack it, you can change it. But until you provoked the problem, that was always going to be there. So Karina says, kind of like you attract what you feel or fear. Yes. In fact, one of my mentors, a very wise mentor, said that fear is a prayer for the thing you do not want. Fear is a prayer for the thing you do not want. So here's the thing we need to understand. We always have to remove the negativity. We have to remove the blocks and the barriers before we start amplifying our state. Because when we start amplifying our state, we will start adding energy to the negative things as well. And they will get stronger and stronger and stronger until there's a critical mass, and you either have a meltdown or it overwrites the process. So the faster way to manifest is to go in, clean up the crap, and then amplify the positive feelings. Okay? Does that make sense? Cool. All right. Now, so here's what's going to happen. I want you to make a brief list of all the things. Oops, that's weird. I want you to make a brief list of all the things you want to manifest. Just number 1 to 5, write them down really quick. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, if it's okay with you, because I promised you I would show you how to get access to the full toolkit, I'd like to go through that process with you and show you everything we've got in terms of where these techniques come from, how they work together, how you can begin using them to really customize things. Then I want to circle back and I want to start clearing the blocks to the things on your list. And then I want to help you start programming those 5 things into your future so that they start to manifest for you using the technologies in the systems that we're teaching. Is that fair? Type in the chat if that's fair. Cool. All right. So let's get started. I'm going to do this in my old weird way. All right. Let's see where we're at here. So with your permission, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and hopefully you're writing that stuff down. I want to talk to you about the Hidden Laws of Attraction Ultra Manifestation Mastery Home Study Course. This is a set of programs that I put together to help people learn how to unlock the literal magic of their own nervous system from the comfort of their own home. It's all about taking your life to the next level. It's about living your best life, honestly. It's the fast track to manifesting wealth and aligning yourself with the vibrations of abundance to attract wealth and prosperity into your life. It's about attracting opportunities. In other words, remember we said that people who identify as being lucky, their reticular activating system pulls their awareness into proximity of things that cause good things to happen. Somehow, some way, your autonomic nervous system, I actually kind of know a little bit about how that works, but it's not important for now. Your autonomic nervous system knows where to find those opportunities and can pull you to them. And when you go through this 7-stage process of inner transformation, you'll become the person who's magnetically drawn to all of these opportunities. It's not just that you'll attract them, it's that you will be attracted to them. We think that we attract things. It's not really that way. We're attracted to the things themselves, right? Through our reticular activating system, through the vibrational frequencies that we send out into the universe. All right, and the filters within our own neurology. If you'd like to build relationships and deepen bonds with aligned, uplifting individuals, in other words, if you'd like to be hanging around people who are like you, people that lift you up, that support you, that become the peers and the support group that allow you to take on the world, right? To lift you up when you're feeling down, this is something that you're really going to want to pay attention to. Right? If you'd like to inspire change in other people, there's a saying, be the change you wish to see in the world. You're not going to inspire or lead anybody if you're not somebody who's uh, taken that technology, applied it to themselves, and become an avatar of those transformations. It's something that I aspire to. It's something I encourage all of my students to do. I want you to be the proof of the technologies that you teach and embody. Okay. And by changing yourself, even Lao Tzu said it, if you want to change the world, change yourself. Right? And this is very important. We go around, especially in our influence training, we go around trying to find all these techniques to change everybody else. But the truth is, the most pervasive changes, the most global changes in our universe happen when we change what's inside of us more than anything else. Okay. And so I really want to inspire you to do that. And this course will actually help you really move that needle forward. Right. If you'd like to radiate more confidence, command attention effortlessly in any situation, this will do it. I'll show you how to just plug that in, right? If you'd like to break the barriers that have been holding you back, unlock your inner power, become truly unstoppable, I'm going to show you how to be an immovable force or an immovable object, an unstoppable force, or flow like water around the barriers and the situations and circumstances that you face. If you'd like to become truly magnetic and draw success and people to you with an almost irresistible energy, this is something you're going to want to pay attention to. So what I'm about to share with you is only good for tonight, June 3rd, 2025 at 11:59 p.m. And I'm going to go with either Pacific time zone, or if you're in a later time zone, we'll go with that. Okay? I'll be nice. So here's what we're going to talk about. First thing we're going to give you is the Hidden Laws of Attraction Ultimate Manifestation Mastery Home Study course. Now, this is going to teach you how to systematically unlock the power of your subconscious mind to quickly manifest anything you desire, find and remove blocks to your health, wealth, success, and happiness, stuff you didn't even know you had. We gave you a little bit of glimpse of how that works with the first exercises in part 1. I want to teach you how to become magnetic to money. There's a little addendum. I may actually do an extra class on this, or I may just include the video with this. There was a program I did called Money Magnet Mastery, where I went through the different money personalities and things and how people view wealth and how it affects how they attract wealth and things of that nature. We're going to teach you about that stuff. How to influence people remotely, both to do the things you want, to heal them, whatever it is you want. Manifestation is just another way of saying magic. It's all another way of saying about remote influence. Let me show you how to tap into the power and the magic of your own neurology so you can use this power in the way that's in harmony with your own sense of personal ethics. Okay. And we're going to teach you how to find and remove the hidden negativity, the stuff you didn't even know was there that's been tainting all of your manifestation skills. Things like if you've ever dated the same person with a different face, right? If you've gotten the same job in different companies over and over and over again. Things that keep happening, patterns that keep repeating. This is not due to something you're aware of. It's due to something you're not aware of. It's due to something you're trying to avoid. And in the act of actually avoiding it, you're actually manifesting it. My teachers taught me this. I'm going to teach you how to find it, how to fix it. Okay. If you want to clear up issues that just don't seem to go away, this is the ticket for that. Right. I'm going to teach you, and I'm actually going to share with you there's like 3 or 4 levels to the information method. We're going to give you the first level tonight on the tail end of tonight's webinar. So you can start to prime your neurology in a way that absolutely unlocks these massive hidden stores of energy that bypass the limiting beliefs that say you can't do something and orient your nervous system onto the aspects of your personality, identity, and value system that says you can have it. Okay, an affirmation based on the structure of how the nervous system wants to be communicated with, but it's also based on how your nervous system actually builds and creates your experience of reality, right? Again, you don't need all the science and the neurolinguistics behind it to be able to use it. If you just follow the formulas and you apply the technique, everything else will happen on its own. That's the beauty of it. You don't need to be a master practitioner in neurolinguistics. You don't got to be a 12th degree black belt and a 30-year Reiki master and DNA this and theta that and Bankston this. You don't need any of that. You just need a simple set of practices that allow you to unlock the magic that's already inside of you, that allows you to interpret the sensations and the whims and the notions and the communications welling up from deep inside your neurology that you don't pay attention to because nobody taught you to look for it. Nobody taught you what you should be focusing on and what it means to you. All right? We're going to teach you all of that. Okay? And that's the keys to the kingdom. Okay? We're going to teach you how to install the traits, qualities, and characteristics of naturally lucky people. This is a big deal, guys. This is a big one. And once you have that identity by design technology and the 5 characteristics of lucky people, right? And you combine that with all these other practices, you're going to be walking, talking magic. Now, don't take my word for it. Don't believe anything I say just because I say it. Go by your experiences, right? Talk to the veterans here in Planet David. Talk to the people who've used these technologies. Call us if you want, right? I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. I'll tell you story after story after story. Right? I'm going to teach you the most powerful manifestation engine I've ever found, and that is patently image cycling. Image cycling to me is almost like the cheat code to the universe. Because using this image cycling technology, I can literally plug anything into this engine, start cycling it, and within, depending on how impossible the thing is, within a very short time it will manifest, right? But I will warn you that sometimes the way the universe goes about manifesting your stuff isn't gentle. So if there's certain characterological issues that you have to resolve in order to manifest a certain thing, the universe will make sure you go through that. Okay, so there's ways to buffer that, but at the end of the day, image cycling still is the most powerful transformation and manifestation engine I've found, and we're going to teach it to you as one of the very most important things, and you're going to test it, right? If I had more time, I'd have it. You guys do it a small piece of it on the webinar here, but we don't have that kind of time. Anyway, there's a whole lot more to this, but moving on. So this value of this whole program is $1,997. We're going to give this to you, but we're going to give you a whole bunch more. Okay. We're going to also include these special bonuses. So for those of you who are interested in energetics and real world practical vibrational influence, in 2020, I went to the United Kingdom and they taught a very special 5-day training on advanced energetics, vibrational influence, remote influence, and various types of meditative practices designed to help people unlock their potentials, become more psychic, become more influential overall. And this is a special class because usually our vibrational influence class is a 3-day class. I taught 2 full days of extra bonus material, including how to do dowsing. Actually, my colleague, Diana, taught the dowsing portion, but I taught the Kuji-Kiri, which is the mudra sciences that you see in like Dragon Ball Z and ninja movies and stuff like that. We talked about remote healing. We did Reiki attunements. We did all kinds of amazingly cool stuff, including sound work, vibrational projection, things of that nature. This was a really cool class. So for those of you who are aspiring masters of energetic healing, energetic influence, vibration, and manifestation, this is a really, really cool bonus add. It's going to enhance and amplify everything that we're teaching you in the Hidden Laws of Attraction home study course. We're going to teach you how to unlock the secret powers of your subconscious mind, to gain control of your mind and body, to unlock your unlimited potential, to harness the forces of the universe so that they actually do your bidding. We'll teach you the dynamics of that. Psychically and energetically protect yourself, heal yourself and other people, clear your chakras and master your own energetic fields, master any or manifest anything you want, including and increasing your psychic skills, and a whole lot more. This special edition Vibrational Influence regularly retails for $2,497. We're going to give this to you absolutely free because we want you to have as broad a toolkit with as many different methods that you can apply as possible. Some of you are going to like the Kuji, right? The mudra work. Some of you are going to like the sound work. You're going to resonate with toning and color and energy spinning and things of that nature, right? Each of you are going to have aspects of this training that are going to resonate more fully with you. So we're going to give you the whole buffet. And what you do is you cherry pick the things that work best in your life. Okay. Total value on this, if you take the $1997 and the $24.97, is $4,494. We're also going to throw in, again, because a lot of you are healers and therapists, we're going to talk to you about vibrational healing. We're going to teach you energy healing and mastery secrets made easy. And in this particular program, I literally dissect the entire field of energetic medicine and energy healing. I go through each individual model, from the Reiki model to the pranic healing model to the Chinese Qigong models to Hermetic healing, Bankston, and how they all fit, DNA theta healing, and how they all fit together and form a framework for all the different ways that you can perform energy healing. And each of them is its own little model. And there are other, they're derivatives of that model. But once you understand the full spectrum of these different energetic models, now you can, from an informed perspective, you can pick and choose based on the client, what approach is going to be best for them. What approach is going to give the biggest bang for the buck with that patient, right? It's better to understand everything rather than be a one-trick pony. Okay, so versatility and adaptability is one of the hallmarks of a good energy healer. So we're going to teach you about that. I'm going to teach you how to find and remove energetic blocks to health, wealth, and happiness, stuff you didn't even know you had, how to become a master of energy healing and heal people remotely. We're going to teach you 3 or 4 different ways that you can actually heal people from a distance, right? I probably got about 20 different ways to heal people from a distance. I think we show you like 3 or 4 in here. That's more than most people need. Clear up issues that just don't seem to go away. Find and remove hidden negativity and energetic blockages. Energy bodies and how to empower for healing, how to empower your healing body. Let me rephrase that. Powerful new energy control methods for programming your mind and energy bodies. Empower your healing and manifestation skills for maximum results in minimum time. So let me explain that. We're going to teach you about the 3-body model and how the different energy flows interact with each other. We're going to teach you how to harmonize them and make them work for you. We're going to teach you how to remove the negativity from your past so that when you look back on the past, you only remember it in ways that make your life better. We're going to teach you the energetic and vibrational self-defense secrets that every healer needs to know and understand. Okay? I get a lot of questions all the time about how do I protect myself against psychic attack? How do I most people can't even recognize a psychic attack. They don't realize that the vast majority of psychic attacks are self-inflicted. And so you really need to understand how the hardcore, like Taoist priest, Buddhist priest, Christian mystical priest level understanding of psychic attack and external mental warfare. So you can really appreciate how to navigate that. I'm going to share some of that with you. I want you to discover the most powerful engine of personal transformation I've ever found, one of which is image cycling, but the other one is called resonant frequency generator. Now, you guys did a tiny piece of it at the beginning of the webinar, but we're going to go even deeper into resonant frequency generator and how it powers and fuels every form of alchemical practice that you can think of in the human body. It's literally it literally fast tracks 20 years of Taoist Qigong and Neigong and stuff like that. It's it's almost unfair, but I think the universe gifted this to us as a way to adapt to modern times. Okay. And that's what I believe, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So I'm going to teach you how to do that in this class. Okay. And of course, there's a lot more that I haven't talked about because of time and things of that nature. I'll let you discover those things on your own. So the total value on this is $2,497. Once again, we're going to give it to you for free because we want you to have the tools, right? We want to give you as much valuable information that you can take to work as you can. Total value on this is $6,991. And we're going to give you a very powerful home study program called the Secrets of Personality Transformation Home Study Course. Now, this is probably one of our flagship personal transformation products, in that it's designed to guide you through step by step through the identity by design silo, the one I talked about at the beginning of the webinar, but it's done purely as a form of self-directed transfer. So the first 2 days, when we teach this live, the first 2 days are no different than if you were going to come into our identity by design real world hypnotherapy class. We train you to do these techniques just like you're going to doing this on somebody else. But on day 3, we actually transition so that you're doing all of these practices, all of these processes on yourself, by yourself. And the goal is that you should be able to go from reprogramming, from removing general negativity all the way up to the magic circle or trade installation in as little as 8 minutes. So you can literally go through this 90-minute hypnotherapy silo on your own in 90 minutes. That's the goal. And we've had many people achieve that, right? That's our litmus test to know that you've internalized the process. Now, you don't need to do it in 8 minutes. You can take as long as you want to do it. But the idea is to make you good at it, right? So this is a really powerful program. It's going to allow you to systematically reprogram your own subconscious mind at will, how to remove blocks and limiting beliefs, to find and remove the hidden negativity you didn't even know you had, how to clear up issues that just don't seem to go away, to change that crappy voice in your head, the one that keeps talking shit to you. You know what I'm talking about? In case you don't know what I'm talking about, it's that voice in your head that just said what voice, right? To resolve the negativity from your past that you didn't even know was there. Install traits, qualities, and characteristics of the people you like and admire. So if you know somebody who's a really good manifester and you want to be lucky like them or have manifestation abilities like them, I'll show you in this course how to take an avatar of that person and install them as a template in your own mind and body so that you can express those skill sets and those attributes in a shorter amount of time. It's NLP modeling taken to the extreme. Okay. And it's very simple, easy. It's way easier than the average NLP technique. So total for this, total combined value on this is $9,488, right? And we're also going to include as a special super bonus. Now, some of you are looking for Mr. or Mrs. Right. And this is a program that we've taught it like 3 times. We decided to bonus this to you guys as a super hidden laws of attraction soulmate secrets bonus. This is all about finding and attracting your ideal partners and relationships. It's about discovering who you are inside and what you want and what most satisfies you in yourself, what you want for your ideal life, and how the partner of your choice fits into that. It's going to take you step by step through the communication process, the selection process, the identification of the traits, qualities, and characteristics of people you admire so that you can, and not only that, it's going to teach you the inner game of attraction. It's going to teach you how to find people who resonate at your vibration, who have the same values and beliefs, and the rules for satisfying those beliefs. This is one of the big things is that a lot of times, and you hear me make this joke a lot of times when I'm teaching influence classes, a lot of times people have similar values, but the rules by which they satisfy those values are vastly different, right? And if you don't understand the rules by which a person recognizes their value is being met, you can be running west looking for a sunrise and still not getting the love you want the way that you want it. So there's a lot of different ways that we profile ourselves, and then we take that profile and we extend it or project it out onto what we want in a partner. And just the act of getting clarity on that magnetizes you to becoming the person who can attract that. Because as you go through that process, you're going to become aware of the things in your life that are attracting people who don't fit that mold. And as you remove those things through the process as we guide you through, you become the person who can have the partner you've always dreamt of, the partner that checks all the boxes for you, right? It's a really powerful internal vibrational manifestation tool for relationships specifically. Doesn't matter what gender orientation you are, doesn't matter if you have a gender orientation. What matters is that you have a heart and you want something and you want a relationship that's fulfilling to you. And there are certain things that you have to have before that fulfilling relationship manifests. And if you don't know what those are, once again, you'll move through the world looking for somebody to complete you and never finding them, right? So it's a really important course. We want you to have this because, again, when it comes to manifestation, romance and relationships, it's a big deal. It's a really big deal. We're going to gift this to you. It's a $1,997 value. We're going to give it to you for free. Total combined value on this so far is $11,485. Do the math, guys. Think about all the things that you're going to be able to do as a byproduct of this program, right? And then, so let's look at what we got. We got the Hidden Laws of Attraction home study course, valued at $1,997. We've got the Vibrational Influence United Kingdom Special Edition home study course. This is valued at $2,497. You've got the Vibrational Healing Intensive, $2,497. You've got the Secrets of Personality Transformation home study course, $2,497 value. And we're throwing in that super bonus, the Hidden Laws of Attraction, Soulmate Secrets, Masterclass, Relationship Attraction video course. It's a $1,997 value. Total value on this is $11,485. Now, all this is really good. Individually, they're great courses, but if you were to buy them all individually on the website, if some of these you can't even find on the website, you're going to spend $11,485. But for those of you who are ready to level up, for those of you who are tired of the same old, right? We have a special offer for you guys where you're going to get the best deal humanly possible today. You're not going to have to pay $11,485. Thank God, right? Guess what? If we cut that in half or even to 947, right? If we cut that in half, would that be a good deal? Well, we're not even going to go there, right? 4497, 2497. Oh, nay, nay. If you grab your course today, we're going to give everything we've talked about to you for one low installment, a Father's Day special of just $797. Okay? Think about it. Think about all this manifestation mojo at your fingertips. And all you got to do is click your link when it comes available. Now, if you need extra help, we can break that up and help you manifest it through 3 installments of $397 each. Okay? All you got to do to get started now is click the link that's showing up in your chat. It's www.nlppower.com//HLOA. Click the link, HLOA. There's my little arrow. All right. So for those of you who are maybe a little nervous about investing that kind of money in yourselves, hey, here's what's cool. Test this program for a full 60 days. If by the end of 60 days, you're not on the fast track to making more money and finally getting the things you want, attracting more success, manifesting your dreams, getting over your crap, feeling more secure, confident, and powerful, if you're not getting more wins or enjoying more of what you truly want in life, if the needle's not moving, on day 59, you pick up that phone or you send us an email. And if you're not 100% satisfied with the results you're getting, we'll refund every dime you invested in this course. There's absolutely nothing for you to risk except getting rid of the old version of yourself. If you're ready to step into a new identity, ready to step into a new life, if you're never, one thing's for certain, two things for sure, you're never going to get new results doing the same old things. Okay? If you want different results in your life, you got to do something different. You got to invest in yourself. Okay? One of the biggest things that epiphanies I had for myself was, this probably happened to me maybe 25 years ago. I was sitting in an audience and I was listening to somebody promote an offer. And when I heard the price, I was like, oh man, why is it so much? That can't be worth it. Whereas 2 minutes earlier, I was on board with every single thing that this person was talking about. I could see vivid pictures in my mind of everything the tools in that course would do for me. And when it came time to pull the trigger, the limiting voices in my head, the old version of myself that I was trying very, very hard to get rid of, said, oh, that's not worth it. And then I realized what was really going on. That voice in my head, the voice in your head, maybe, that's saying, oh, that's not worth it, or that's too much money, or too much effort, or too much time. What it's really trying to convince you of is that you're not worth it, that you don't deserve the best, that you don't deserve to have that life, because changing yourself, become that better person is too much work. It's too much money. It's too much time. It's too much energy. Maybe it's time to add a different narrative. Maybe it's time to realize that that voice inside your head that's been keeping you the same, that's been telling you those BS lines, maybe it doesn't have your best interests at heart. Maybe it just has your old interests at heart. I never really said this to an audience before, but it's something that the more I think about it, maybe it just needs to be said, right? If you're ready to change, I'm ready to help. That's what we're about at Planet David. Everybody supports everybody. Take this course now. Apply it. Let us know if you have questions. If after 60 days, by the end of 60 days, you're not seeing profound changes, we'll refund every dime. But don't let the it's too expensive, or it's too much time, or it's too much energy convince you that you don't deserve it, because you do. Okay. Just click your links. www.nlppower.com/HLOA. Click those links. Moss and Mia and Brandon are standing by in the chat. They'll answer any questions that you have. If you have questions, you can call us at 858-282-4663. If by some chance, because usually when we hit the offer portion of our training, the phones start ringing. So there's a couple of things. If you get the voicemail, please, 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 please leave your contact information. Why? Because if you leave your contact information, you qualify for these any bonuses that we might offer. If you call and you don't leave your contact information and you call back tomorrow, you miss your window. You won't get any extra bonuses or any extra benefits that we might be offering. Not to say that I'm going to offer anything very, very shortly for the fast action people, but you never know. Dr. David has his ways. So this offer is good until June 3rd, 2025. That's tonight at 11:59 p.m. Right? So all you got to do is click those links in your chat, right? And for those of you who are ready to go, if you click that link right now, I'm going to include these amazing fast action bonuses, things that will really help you move the needle faster than anything else. First thing you're going to get is a 3-month trial membership to our NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Practice Group and unlimited access to the 14-year video archive. Now, the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program was a program we started in October of 2010. It had only one purpose: to help people get better at the skills that we teach here in Planet David and what eventually became the Snyderverse, right? At the end of that, back in the day, it was just NLP Power. We were just a meetup group, but people wanted more opportunities to learn, more opportunities to practice. And so we decided to put this group together, and it's been the longest running skill building program in the world that I'm aware of, going on 15 years now. Every month on the third Saturday of the month, we log in. I go around the room. I say, Patricia, what do you want to learn? Me, what do you want to learn? Rick, what do you want to learn? Ryan, what do you want to learn? Karina, what do you want to learn? And I write all those things on the board. And I step back and I look at them and I find all the connecting threads and I create a lesson plan on the spot. And for the next 4.5 to 5 hours, sometimes 6 to 8 hours, depending on the schedule, we're going to drill you on those skills until you can do them in your sleep. The truth of the matter is you will not get a certification from the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program. What you will get is something that goes far beyond certification. You will get support. You will get a community that loves the things you love, that wants to learn and practice the things you want to learn and practice. You're going to get interactiveness and feedback from me and my highest level students. And you're going to get the opportunity to drill and drill and drill, right? And you're going to meet some of the finest, coolest people that you'll ever meet. I am so proud of the people in that mastermind group and the community that we've built here. And you're part of that. by extension or by intimacy, you're part of that group now. It's up to you to how far down that rabbit hole you want to go. We've been running this for 15 years, give or take. And we've videotaped every single session and we've archived those videos. Part of that archive is on our private Facebook page. Part of that archive, as some of you are well aware, is on our private members only YouTube channel. Part of that is stored in our website. We are right now working on consolidating all of it into a Kajabi site where you, as a member of the NLP Power program, can access the full 15-year video archive for the entire time you're a member in good standing of the Mastermind program. Okay? Stuff that has never seen the light of day on YouTube, has never been featured in a product, everything from healing, regression, accelerated learning, neurolinguistic programming, marketing, sales, and copywriting, hypnotic language patterns, energy healing, remote healing, psychic skills. If it's in my wheelhouse, we've probably taught it in the NLP Power Mastermind mentoring program. So if you want access to content no one else has ever seen, literally hundreds and thousands, maybe thousands now of hours of video, I invite you to click that link and try it out for 3 months. If after 3 months you got what you needed and you're done, no harm, no foul, you just move on. If you like the community, you like what you're learning, you like the opportunity to practice and hang out with me, we'll show you how to extend your membership. Okay, so $1,597 value. We're going to give this to you for free, not because we want to add more value, although that's true, we do, but because it's this particular bonus is kind of like the glue that makes everything more powerful. I always tell my students, and I haven't said this in a while, so I'm just going to tell you guys up front. For everything you get from me here in Planet David, you're going to pay at least 3 times, right? At least 3. First is the initial financial investment, right? You can always make more money, right? But that only gives you access to the information. There's 2 other investments that need to happen. And those are the important ones. Those are the really valuable ones. The second investment is time, energy, effort. Rolling up your sleeves, doing the drills, getting the skills, taking the time to embody the things you've paid access to learn. Okay? Once you do that, you go from access to ownership. And with that ownership comes a set of skills and a superpower that will serve you anytime you choose to use it. Okay? The third price, which is something my student Seth gave me, was actually going out into the world and actually using the skills, right? Doing it with people in their natural habitat. So there's 3 prices to power. Are you willing to pay it, right? But again, you don't have to believe me, but you can trust what I say, that these skills, all of them, have allowed me to create an amazing life. And they can absolutely 100% do the same for you. Once you decide you deserve it, once you decide you're worth it. So go ahead and total combined value on this is $13,082. We're also going to include, as an extra fast action bonus, the yang of the yin. In Soulmate Secrets, we taught you all about the inner game of finding your soulmate, finding that bashert, for those of you who are of the Hebrew tradition, right? Your soulmate, right? But what about the actual attraction skills necessary to allow you to, once you find that person, to actually approach, engage in a conversation, and have a high probability of actually creating a connection with that person? That's what attraction mastery is all about. It's all about going from your inner game to outer game. It's about going from knowing what you want to being able to walk up to the people that seem to represent what you want, and finding out if who they are on the inside matches what you're seeing on the outside, and taking that relationship from complete stranger all the way up to a committed, intimate relationship. We're going to teach you step by step by step, men to understand women, women to understand men, and what that looks like, because they're slightly different. The order of priority is a little bit different. The languaging is a little different, but it was a co-ed class, so men and women can learn from each other. And that's how I like to teach attraction, because it's not good for one gender to be in a room all by themselves. You need genders interacting so that people can understand the linguistics of things and the behaviors of things and how one gender interprets the behaviors of the other. Once you can bridge that gap, communication becomes very powerful, very intimate, and very easy, right? But if you don't know what you don't know, you're going to keep getting what you've always gotten. Okay. And so that's what attraction mastery is really all about. It's based on our award-winning NLP training protocol, Killer Influence Secrets of Covert Hypnosis. And it's all designed to help you move the needle and give you the actual real world skill sets necessary to become the kind of attraction master that you want to be. It's a $2,497 value. We're going to give this to you for free if you're one of the next 10 or 15 people to click that link right now and join the program. Okay, it's an $18,706 in combined value so far. And finally, for those of you who clicked that link, for the next 15 people, we're going to give you a free VIP super ticket to our next virtual healing retreat. Now, this is a very special program that my assistant, Moss, convinced me to do. And basically what it is basically you're going to come in and for 3 days, I'm going to do process after process after process with you in a small group of people to help you systematically eliminate self-sabotage, heal your physical and emotional pain, remove blocks and limiting beliefs, stuff you might not even known you had, find and remove hidden negativities that are holding you back, clear up issues that just don't seem to go away, change that crappy voice inside your head so that it builds you up instead of tears you down, resolve the negativity from your past, get in touch with your true self, and much, much more. This is me doing therapy and training with you. This is not a training where you're going to come in to learn a skill set and going out and doing this skill set on other people. That's not what the virtual healing retreat is about. The virtual healing retreat is for people who want my help to get the changes they need. So for 3 days, you're mine. For 3 days, I'm going to run you after process, after process, after process, things you won't have to ever worry about having to replicate. So I can unload all of my hypnotic tools for your benefit. It's a lot of fun. I promise you, when you go through this, you will come out a very different person than you did going in. Are there any people on the chat that have been through the Healing Intensive? If you have, please type in the chat what your experience was. Okay. Okay. Total value on this is $13,572. We're going to give this to you free. Why? Because we want you to change. We want you to become the person you truly aspire to be, and we want to help you do it. Okay? We want you to experience transformation at a very profound level. And this 3-day healing intensive does that faster and better than anything out there. Okay? This isn't about certifying you to go out and do things to people. It's about transforming yourself and changing your world from the inside out. So when you're ready to change and you want to grab that ticket, go ahead and click that link. Let's just review what we've got for you guys. Okay. You got the Hidden Laws of Attraction home study course valued at $1,997 value. You get the Vibrational Influence United Kingdom Special Edition, $2,497 value. We're going to give that to you for free. You're going to get the Vibrational Healing home study course valued at $2,497 value. You're going to get Secrets of Personality Transformation, $2,497. You're going to get the Hidden Laws of Attraction Soulmate Secrets Masterclass, $1,997 value. We're going to give that to you absolutely free. And for the next 15 people who click these links, you're going to get the yin and the yang of attraction. You're going to get the Attraction Mastery 4-day home study program valued at $2,497. You're going to get the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Practice Group trial membership and access to the 14-year archive valued at $1,597. And we're going to give you that free VIP super ticket to our next virtual healing intensive scheduled for February 27th through the 29th. Not February, I'm sorry. June 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th. So 3 days. June 27th, 28th, 29th. I'm a little fuzzy today for some reason. Maybe I shouldn't have meditated so close to my webinar. Anyway, it's for Father's Day. We're doing a special $797 offer. Total value on this is $18,076. You can get yours. All you got to do to get yours right now is click that link. Go to www.nlppower.com/HLOA. And you can do one installment of $797, or you can break that up into 3 easy installments of just $397 each. Okay. Normally our webinar packages go for around $997 when we offer them, but for Father's Day and pending Father's Day, we're going to go ahead and give you that discount just a little bit early. So the fathers out there, the mothers out there can really level up their lives. All right. That's what I got for you. So a couple of things that people always ask, and I'm going to go ahead and just put this out there since we're on this particular stage. A, if you see something in this package that you've already purchased, no harm, no foul. Just pick up the phone or send an email to Moss or Mia. Let them know that you have one of these courses. We will let you switch out a course, any course you want of equal or lesser value. So you'll get a customized package. Okay. Let's say you want to come to the VIP, the virtual healing intensive, but you can't make June 27th to the 29th. No harm, no foul. Pick up the phone, let Moss or Mia know. We'll move you to the next virtual healing intensive, right? If the price of our live event goes, any of our events go up, and you have one of these tickets, you don't pay the extra. Your price is guaranteed. You're always going to get a free seat at the virtual healing intensive, regardless of how much it costs people off the street or from other parts of the internet to come in. If you want to gift that ticket to somebody else, if there's somebody in your life who you know needs some help, who's ready for help, you can gift them this VIP ticket and we'll do the work for them. We'll do the work on them, with them, and we'll help them any way that we can. That's our goal in the healing intensive. The healing intensive is all about transformation and healing. It's all about moving the needle of your life forward, clearing up the crap that's holding you back, installing the things that let you move forward, and feeling better about who you are as a human being. It's about realizing you're not broken, that there's literal magic waiting inside of you to be unleashed. And the virtual healing intensive has been one of our most powerful ways for people to experience that. And I'd like to share that with you. So go ahead and click those links and decide for yourself how far down this rabbit hole you want to go. Okay. Click those links. And what we're going to do, as is our tradition, we're going to go ahead and give you guys a 8-minute break, give or take, to finalize any orders that you want to make. Ask any questions in the chat that you might have. And when I come back, I'll answer those questions. And we're going to move into part 3 and start clearing some stuff and installing some futures. Sounds like a plan? Type "that's for me" in the chat, and we'll go from there. Again, Moss and Brandon and Mia are waiting in the chats. By all means, reach out to them through whatever channel is appropriate to get your questions answered. And we'll see you in just a few minutes. Okay, folks, I'm back from my break a little bit early. What questions do you have about anything we've covered tonight? We're going to move into applications phase of tonight's training, but when would now be a good time to ask any questions that you might have? YouTubers, I know there's a little bit of a delay for you guys, so when you get this, go ahead and type your questions and we'll do our best. Rynam's asking, have I enjoyed the existence that I've called? I love my life. Every day I wake up, sometimes go to bed, and just feel extreme gratitude. My life isn't perfect, but it's pretty amazing. It's pretty magical. And I am surrounded by the most amazing people, and that includes you guys, by the way. I love my life. I really do. I have problems, but they're what I call high quality problems. Um, and I spend a lot of time now cultivating an energy of gratitude, and that has made a huge and profound difference in my ability to manifest. Right, because my understanding of emotions is a little bit different than the average bear. Um, you see, when most people are trying to cultivate feelings of gratitude and love and happiness and forgiveness and all these things, they're thinking of them from an experiential level, like feeling that gratitude and feeling that love and all these things. But there's a much deeper truth to these energies. You need to think of energies like gratitude and love and um, playfulness. Big one in our world, by the way. Think of them like ingredients, like you would add, chlorine and sodium and create salt, right? Both of those, chlorine and sodium together, and I might be oversimplifying this because I'm not a science dude, but are toxic or explosive by themselves. And yet when you combine them, you've got one of the most fundamental food sources and minerals that we have. That's alchemy. And these are the same things that happen when you start to understand vibrate emotion as vibrational chemical, vibrational substances that can combine and interact and create effects and manifestations. This is something I teach to my megas, which you guys will learn about. Um, but most people, they're indoctrinated into very low level understandings of these energies because the first thing they want to do is cultivate a certain type of behavior in you. And they call that behavior gratitude or that behavior appreciation or whatever. The behaviors of because you ever try to teach a kid to be grateful? Pardon me, I'm pulling back a sneeze. Um, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do, right? So we have to teach them the behaviors. Say please, say thank you, right? And eventually they start associating certain types of feelings and emotions with those behaviors. And that's as far as most people ever get. They think of emotions like or virtues like gratitude and kindness and compassion as uh, as experiential things, and they are. But there's a deeper level to that. There's an alchemical aspect that when you combine compassion and you combine gratitude and you combine a sense of praise and awe, well, when these things combine, they form more complex, comprehensive vibrations. Those vibrations have certain qualities to them. And you can use a good alchemist knows how to combine and transform these vibrational frequencies to create effects, right? You won't probably find that in a book anywhere. It's something you kind of evolve to, but just putting that out there. So anyway, what other questions do you have, if any, that don't involve chemistry? Right. So that being said, I'm small again. How many of you have a list of things that you guys want to work on? Type it in the chat. See a question. So Jonathan is asking a question earlier. He says, to be clear, I don't have to believe, I just have to be absorbed and physically active in the process to get the desired effect. Yes, you don't have to believe it, but you do have to want it. And that's one of the caveats is this, everything we're doing presupposes there's things you want, right? But the bottom line is I spent a lot of time figuring out how to teach people who can't have no understanding of what we're doing, how to do these things successfully. And one of the biggest stumbling blocks I've found to people being able to transform is the belief bugaboo. The idea that in order for something to manifest, you have to believe it. Um, there are certain levels where that's true, and there are certain levels where it's not true, right? And so, because we're working through the mechanics of the autonomic nervous system, whatever the autonomic nervous system can change or create, the autonomic nervous system can influence. And so we can do that through purely mechanical means. But you do have to want the change. You don't have to believe it. You just have to become absorbed, playful. And that's why, by the way, by way of review, that's why I started the beginning of the webinar, a little as meandering as it was at first. I started that webinar with giving you guys feelings of intense pleasure first. The reason we did that, the reason that we did that was because everything human beings do is in response to a feeling on every level, consciously and subconsciously, manifest from a manifestation perspective and from a demanifestation perspective. It's either a feeling they want more of or a feeling they want a whole lot less of. One of the problems that you have, this is especially true when you're doing affirmations. Now, you guys don't have to answer me in the chat. Of course, YouTubers are always welcome to do that. Um, how many of you who do affirmations usually don't start doing affirmations until they're in a crappy mood and they're trying to get themselves out of it? I would say better than 50% of the people out there don't start putting pen to paper or speaking their affirmations out loud until they're feeling shitty and they want to break the state. That's the problem. You're starting at the wrong place. If you want your affirmations to give you the biggest return on your investment, you have to change your state first. Now, let's think about this logically and rationally and scientifically for a moment. What states are higher? What frequencies are higher? Playfulness or seriousness? Which states are higher? Gratitude or envy? Which states are higher? Love, indifference, right? Think about the lightness of the positive emotions and the heaviness of the less than positive emotions. That tells you where the vibrational density is. Remember that higher level frequencies, lighter frequencies dominate lower frequencies. So if you're wanting to manifest something and you have to match the vibration of the thing you're seeking to manifest, and you're starting down here and the thing you want is up here, well, that's an awful lot of work just to get to normal. But that's what most people do. You see, because what happens is your human nervous system has a negativity bias. It has this inherent setting inside of it. One good thing happens, it assigns a gravity of 1. One bad thing happens, it assigns a gravity of 4. So your nervous system is always weighted towards the negative. Why? Because it's adaptive. It gets the meat moving. It was more important for you to feel strong fear to get you to run, to motivate you enough to run from the saber-toothed tiger than it ever was to enjoy sitting around the campfire, right? One definitely has a lot more survival connotations than others, right? And so your nervous system evolved this negative bias. Now, all the agencies out there, whether they're media, whether they're governmental, independent, they know this. They know that your negativity triggers are the most powerful leverage they have in your system. So they're constantly pressing them. So you have this inherent negativity bias. Frank says, I'm not supposed to tell people that. You're right. If I suddenly disappear from YouTube and every place else, you know they did it, right? But the truth is that every agency on the planet, whether they're marketers or whether they're government or whatever, yes, but they are happy with your work, David. Thank you for that, I think. Um, they're pressing those negativity triggers. Okay. So you have this predisposition already, and now you have all these external agencies pressing the button. So it becomes really, really important, A, to understand the dynamics of your own nervous system so you can manage it. Because if you don't manage it, it's going to manage you. Okay. I tell my students that, if you're not willing to control your own state, there are many other highly funded, well-resourced three-letter agencies out there willing to do it for you. Yeah, Seth C says all the advertising trying to tell you you're not 100%, right? We need to balance that equation. We need to level the playing field, and that's my mission, to give you the tools. I can't use them for you. I can certainly use them on you, right? But I have to share. I have to teach you the tools so you have the awareness and the language of those tools, and then you have to choose to use them. And that's a tremendous responsibility to take for your own life. Okay. And so, but this negativity bias is one of the things that we constantly have to manage. When it comes to manifestation, it screws us up because if this is baseline, right? And the vibration I need to manifest something is up here, and I'm down here, I have to do all these affirmations just to get here. And I'm still a gazillion miles away from the thing I need. So the first thing you want to do if you're going to use affirmations, and we're going to teach you some very powerful ways to use this. If you want to use affirmations, you've got to clear your state first. You've got to get your physiology and your psychology right. You've got to bring that vibration up as much as humanly possible, as quickly as possible, and then you've got to absorb yourself into it. That creates the platform where you can start to do things. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever tried to think happy thoughts when you're just in a completely shitty mood? Is it easy? Right? Because your physiology is often working against you. So again, in our class, like when you come to Killer Influence or you come to Defense Against the Dark Arts or NLP, PrAC certification, right? We're going to run you through state control drills, things that allow you to take instant control of your state and allow you to reclaim your state anytime you want. I gave you one of those drills where I had you think of a time in your life where you felt really, 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 really good. Tremendous pleasure. You guys remember that? Just for fun. Just for fun. I want you to stand up, close your eyes, remember that pleasure color that you experienced. Remember what color it was. Imagine a big ball of that energy floating above your head. Notice how the feelings in your body shift and change with every breath you take and every beat of your heart. That ball of energy begins to grow, begins to expand, begins to fill the entire room from floor to ceiling, from wall to wall, and all points in between. Notice how it wraps itself around you like an amazing blanket of pleasure. A cocoon, a shield, a suit of armor, insulating you, protecting you from all downers, all bummers, real or imagined, while at the same time flooding your mind, flooding your body, flooding your spirit with everything it most wants, everything it most needs in an infinite, ever expanding, and unlimited supply. And when you know you've got that, breathe those colors through your entire being. Let it fill you up like water fills up a bottle, like fluid fills up a test tube, like hot air or helium fills up a balloon. Anchor it in so fully, so completely, no force in the universe can turn it off or take it away, not even you. When you realize it's true, it's locked in, test it. Try to turn the new feelings off. Try to bring the old feelings back and notice what happens instead. When you're satisfied, you're happy, stop testing, notice how good you feel. So we have a question on our YouTube channel. Can we talk about heart coherence? Isn't that the most powerful state to manifest? Yes, but how fast can you get there? That's what we're teaching you. This is one of the fastest ways to do that. Okay? Through combinations of positive emotions, things of that nature, you can actually open the heart and balance the hemispheres quicker, right? We're teaching you how to hack that. Right. All right. So was that good? Yes or yes? As T. Harv Eker would say, 3 cups. Okay. So perfect. This is how I want you to start every single affirmation training session you do. This is how I want you to start your day. When you get up in the morning, the first thing I want you to do while you're still in that sleepy, fuzzy state is I want you to remember the most pleasurable thing you can think of ever. Turn it into a color, breathe it through your whole body, fill the room with it, and just dissolve into it. Okay, that's going to change your whole neurology. It's going to create a state of neuroplasticity inside of you that allows your neurology to evolve and learn things faster. Okay, really, really important. I'm under telling you just how powerful and how important that one technique is. But let's say we want to take it a step further. Let's say we want to start really creating a really powerful manifestation practice. Well, now we want to get a little bit more specific on the structure of the resources we're tapping into. Okay. Now remember something. As we go through these processes, you're going to have 2 sets of feelings coming up. You'll have the really powerful positive feelings you're intentionally generating. And in some cases, in many cases, not always, but in many cases, there will be those icky, naggy, yucky background feelings that you want to kind of ignore. So here's how we do this going forward. As we provoke these icky, naggy feelings, we're going to point to where we feel. We're going to take out a piece of paper, and we're going to draw a little stick figure. Okay. We're going to draw a little stick figure, and every time a feeling we need to get rid of comes up, we're going to point to where we feel it. We're going to notate on the little stick figure where it is. We're going to notice the color. We're going to write the color. Okay? So what we're doing is we're body mapping all the places in our body where the things that are holding us back, the things that are limiting us, the things that are tainting our vibrational frequency are stored. Why? So we can go back and fix them. Okay? Does that make sense? This means yes, this means no. Got it. Okay. So, does everybody have their list of things they want to manifest? All right. So, before we get into the actual list part, what I'd like us to do, I want to do one more state control drill. This one's going to be a little bit more precise. Don't worry about it. It's you don't have to just follow the instructions. Your nervous system will do the rest. Okay. So, I want you to, if you can, stand up. I want you to think of something that you really, a time in your life when you saw something you really, really wanted. I mean, like on a scale of 0 to 10, it had a lust factor of 47. But there's certain parameters now. I want it to be something that you truly, deeply, passionately wanted, and you decided that no matter what got in your way, no matter what it took, you were going to get that thing no matter what, and you made a plan. You put that plan into action, and you worked the plan, you modified the plan, and you boom, you nailed it. Home run, base, a touchdown, whatever you use to count as a win. I want you to find a time in your life when that was true for you. Okay? When you have it, just type, yeah, I have it in the chat. Perfect. Well, Rhinum, you only need one. Okay? Good, excellent. Now I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to remember that experience. I want you to see what you were seeing in that moment. I want you to hear what you were hearing in that moment. I want you to smell what you were smelling and taste what you were tasting. When you do that, I want you to stand the way you were standing. I want you to breathe the way you were breathing. When you're like that, when you see what you see and you hear what you hear and you smell and you taste what you smell and you taste, there is an amazing, wonderful feeling that you get. A feeling of absolute victory. And I'd like you to notice that there's a place in your body where those amazing feelings start. Where they go, where they spread from. Take a moment. Notice where you feel it. Point to it. And notice there's a color. Maybe even a series of colors connected to those feelings. Whatever color or colors that is for you, I want you to imagine a brilliant ball of that energy floating above your head. Notice how the feelings in your body shift and change with every breath you take and every beat of your heart. That amazing ball of victory begins to grow, begins to expand, begins to fill the entire room from floor to ceiling, from wall to wall, and all points in between. Notice how it wraps itself around you like an amazing blanket of victory, of being a winner, a cocoon, a shield, a suit of armor, insulating you, protecting you from all defeats, real or imagined, while at the same time flooding your mind, flooding your body, flooding your spirit with everything it most wants, everything it most needs in an infinite, ever expanding, and unlimited supply. And when you know you've got that, I want you to breathe those colors through your entire being. Let it fill you up like water fills up a bottle, like fluid fills up a test tube, like hot air or helium fills up a balloon. Anchor it in so fully, so completely, no force in the universe can turn it off, take it away, not even you. And when you realize it's true, I want you to test it. Try to turn it off, try to take it away, and notice what happens instead. When you're satisfied, and only when you're satisfied, stop testing. Scan your body. Notice how different you feel. And let that feeling just permeate your mind and body. Now, when you know you've got that, go ahead and type done in the chat. Perfect. It's okay, I'll wait. Richard says that's so much fun, right? That's the point. Your manifestation should always be fun. Let me repeat that 2 more times. Manifestation work should always be fun. Not serious, not emphatic, not anxious, not panicked, fun. If you're trying to do manifestation work from any of those states I just mentioned, you're going the wrong way. You're manifesting the very feeling, you're manifesting the things that will activate and amplify the very feelings you're trying to get rid of. Remember, fear, negativity, anger, envy, jealousy are prayers for the thing you do not want. Everything starts with state. State is frequency. Frequency is manifestation. All right. So when you're going to do manifestation work, you got to know what you want. You got to control your state. You got to take an inventory of where you're at, decide what's a better state to work from, use this methodology to plug that in. Does that make sense? If all you did was just the state work and apply what you've already been taught about affirmations, you would manifest things faster and easier. But we're not going to stop there. We're going to give you a whole bunch more stuff, right? But this is something that is fundamental in all of our technologies, whether you're coming to killer influence, whether you're coming to identity by design, personal transformation, defense against the dark arts, NLP prac certification, the ability to enter and exit any psycho-emotional state at will is a core competency in Planet David. And once you have it, you have the secret to the universe. Literally, the secret to the universe is in your ability to control your state. Okay? And we give you very systematic, very progressive drills. In fact, if you have, when you get your program and you look at attraction mastery is based on the killer influence system. The entire state control system is in there. So you'll have that whole training right at your fingertips, right? You can just start going through it. And once you have it, you'll learn all the different ways you can use it. You can transfer your state to other people. You can rebound and recoil from having your state taken away from you. You can control frames. You can do all kinds of amazing things. I have very well trained clients who are personal injury attorneys who regularly pull down 8-figure verdicts using this technology. Right? It's not a fluke. We can show it to you through anatomy. We can show it through you physiology. We can show it through you through physics, quantum physics, if we need to. But you don't need to know any of that to do the technique, right? So going forward, do I have your promise that when you go to do manifestation work, once you decide what it is you want, the first thing you will do is control your state? Can we agree to that? Yes or yes? Cool. All right. So the next piece is, now that we've got the state, we have 2 directions that we can go. We can go into clearing crap, or we can go into programming the future. Which would you like to do? Which would you like to do? Assuming that we're going to do both anyway, which would you like to do first before I make an arbitrary decision? Welcome programming the oh wow. All right, future. Okay. So to do this, we are going to learn a process that I talked about in some of my early processes. In part 2, I talked about yin formations. So let me pull up my OneNote here. Great. I picked the one OneNote version of this that doesn't have the information. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. And I want everybody to try and stay focused. Clearing the crap is going to happen, Miriam. Don't worry about it. We're going to get there, but it's just how you got to get to pick the direction we go first. And this actually works out because, so before I get into, so just a quick reminder for those of you who've been on the fence so far and want to get into this kind of work, we have the, oops, that's not working out the way I planned it. Hold on. Where did my PowerPoint go? Oh, hold on a second. Well, I'll have to do this from memory then. So what you're going to get, for those of you who've been on the fence, is the Hidden Laws of Attraction home study course valued at $1,997. You're going to get the Vibrational Influence home study course valued at $2,497. You're getting the Vibrational Influence home study course valued at Vibrational Healing home study course valued at $2,497. You're going to get the Secrets of Personality Transformation home study course valued at $2,497. You're going to get the Soulmate Secrets Masterclass, the Attraction Mastery 4-day intensive, the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Practice Group Trial, and the free VIP super ticket to our next virtual healing intensive for our Father's Day sale. It's an $18,776 value. You're going to get it all for one low installment of $797. Or we can make that in 3 easy installments of $397 each. And all you got to do to collect yours is go to nlppower.com/HLOA. Just click on that link in your chats, and we'll go from there. I apologize. Like my PowerPoint went to my other screen, which is it's a very weird thing. So it's been a very weird day. So I'm learning to roll with the punches. All right. So what was the last thing we were talking about? Um, oh, okay. So future, thank you. Now I got to go back to my OneNote. I've got so many windows open right now, it's ridiculous. All right, so let me share this. So what if there was a way, or what if there was an actual preferred way that your nervous system liked to be talked to? What if there was, in fact, a structure to the way your brain creates thoughts and beliefs? Turns out there is. Uh, don't mind me while I pull up a chair. Since everything else is going wonky today, I've decided that I'm just going to roll with the flow and enjoy myself. The universe's way of teaching me everything's okay. All right. So these are basic affirmations. Yes. Have a six-figure business, feel more deserving of money, attract the love of my life, be more fearless or confident, more empowered, more happy. So as I'm talking to you guys here, what are some, you see a black screen? Hold on a second. That shouldn't be true. You see it now? We're good? Okay. I'm just make sure my chats are up so everybody can see. I can see everything. Okay, good. All right. So, what are some other affirmations? Okay, give it a minute, Tammy. See if it clears out. I'm not sure. Maybe you should refresh your screen and see what happens there. That's very weird. Type some. What are some other things you guys might want to manifest? Type them in the chat for me. This particular lesson is going to get a little long because I have to teach you hypnotic languaging to make this work. So Mickey is saying ultimate health. Okay. Rhino is saying global harmony. Okay, that's a little long, but let's go with global harmony just for fun. I would prefer if these informations or these statements were actually personal to you as opposed to more extra personal. Okay, so let's say we have our information or the thing we want to manifest, right? Maybe you want to have a six-figure business. Oh, Richard, that's a good one, Richard. Models adoring me. I like that. Okay, so we've got the basic thing that we want to accomplish, right? So the first stage of this is again, outcome. What do I want? Right? Very simple. What do I want? Well, I want to have a six-figure business. The next question is going to be, how do I know when I have it? Right? So for every outcome you set, there needs to be a how do you know? How will you know when you've accomplished it? There's got to be a way for you to measure it. All right. So feel more deserving of money, attract the love of my life, be more fearless. So these are just examples, right? The next thing we're going to do, let's say I want to use, in this example, I'm using feel more deserving of money. So what I'm going to do is I start with I, and then I insert whatever it is that I want to create. I feel more empowered because, now here's where it gets weird. I want you to write in the box the first thing that pops into your head. So, for example, if I were to say to myself, I feel more empowered because I'm good at what I do. I feel more empowered because I mean what I say. I feel more empowered because I am. Right? So do you see the structure? I fill in whatever you want to manifest because fill in whatever pops into your head. Excellent. So I could say I feel more empowered because I make good decisions. Right? So Jorgen, very good one, right? This is information structure level one. Okay. I X because Y. So X, Y. So here's what I want you to do. What I want you to do now is I want you to take the first thing you want to manifest and type that in the chat for me. Each of you just take one thing. I'll cherry pick them. So Richard, Jorgen, maybe Seth and Frank, Tammy. All right. So Lisa's got money. Okay. So Lisa, what specifically about money do you need or do you want? I need a little bit, Lisa, I need a little bit more for your money affirmation. Okay, Jack says a good job, financial success. Okay, I want to be in alignment with my higher self. Okay. 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 So it's a little bit more challenging because she gave me a one-word answer. Well, actually, Tammy, all right, I'm gonna compress Tammy's information with Lisa's. You can use in both of these. But here's the secret to this. I am going to fill out the IX part. And what I want you to do is as I say this, I want you to respond with the first thing that pops into your head when I say because, right? So for Lisa and Tammy, it might look like this. I am attracting more and more money because both of you type in the first thing that popped into your head when I hit the because. Just type it in the chat. Okay. So for Lisa, because I am worth it. Perfect. Okay. How about Tammy? Because I want to help people. Or you could say it for Tammy. It could be, you could replace the because. Well, no, we'll stay with this because I want to help people. Or because I can help people. There we go. I like that. Now, no, wait, I can't do that because I want to help people. Sorry, I just violated my own rule. You have to use the exact words, guys. All right. Let's look at Okay, Jorgen. Jorgen says, I am creating or manifesting, that's probably a better word, a beautiful, attractive smile because what's the first thing that pops into your head, Jorgen, when I say that? Okay, because I like helping people. Jorgen, did you type something in there for us? So, Jorgen, when I say I am manifesting a beautiful, attractive, healthy teeth and smile, when I say because, what's your reason? What comes up? Because I want to make positive first impressions. Is that what came up, or what's the exact words that came up into your head? Okay. 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 When you say positive first impressions, is it because you want to make positive first impressions? Because you want to, um, well, we'll assume that's what you meant. It's a little bit, again, I need your exact words, right? So Jax has done this before, so we'll look at hers. I am manifesting a great job that I can do with my peer and hypnosis abilities because I am worth it. Okay. Do you see the structure of what we're doing? I fill in the thing you want to manifest because whatever reason, whatever thing pops up into your head first, that's what you write down, right? Right. Does anybody not understand what we're doing? Okay. So here's what we're going to do. I want you to take a moment for each of the five things, for each of the five things you want to manifest, write at least one statement using this structure. I blank because X. Okay. So once again, um, and whatever goes in this part, first words that pop into your head. I need to make my stuff longer. Okay. Okay. This is really, really important. This goes back to something I covered in the video, 6 dynamics of the unconscious of an unconscious response. And that is rule number 1. Unconscious mind always answers first. Remember, everything about you is controlled by your unconscious mind. Affirmations are a conscious mind attempt at influencing the unconscious mind. It's a brute force method. Jürgen says, because I'm approachable, well-liked, and kind-hearted. Very good. Okay. So I blank because whatever pops into your head. All right. We don't do that. What we're going to do is we're going to talk to the unconscious mind using its language, using its structure. And because of that, you're going to have a different experience. So here's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to go ahead and jump. Actually, you can probably see me, right? Yes. I assume you can see me. Yes. Okay. All right. I'm gonna get out of my chair now because I want to be standing for this. So what happens now is you take the things that you want to manifest, and we're going to do the same drill we did earlier with the affirmations and about trying to find the icky naggy feelings. But what's going to happen now is I want you to take the first information structure that you've created. I want you to hold it up. I want you to scan your body. Notice how you feel first. Okay. And I want you to speak the very first information that you created out loud 5 to 7 times. Just look at it, speak it, right? And notice how you feel when you're done. And then type in the chat what you feel. Richard says energetic. Was it more energizing or less energizing than the first time you did it? More, no doubt. By orders of magnitude, yes or no? At least 5 times. Excellent. Now, think about this. You start with powerful, positive, vibrational state already through your standing and your color breathing. Then you layer on top of it this process that taps into the belief-making system of your nervous system. Let me say that again. This language structure taps in to the belief creation mechanism of the autonomic nervous system. That's why some of you may have noticed that when you do this, you get a lot more energy faster. Because what happens is when you try to use an affirmation the way we're commonly taught, A, you're in a crappy state, so you're already working twice as hard to get to normal or average. The other part is you're trying to influence the deep unconscious through a neocortical response, through a neocortical language, rather than working with the deep structure that is related to a set of filters in your nervous system that take information from the vibrational universe, the quantum, and compress it and structure it into something we can understand. There's a set of filters that are pervasive through the human system that allow us to go from spoken words to experience and from experience to spoken words. This language pattern is directly analogous to that one of the highest filters in your system. Okay? When you use this, your brain processes this statement as if it's actually 100% true. Okay? And the presuppositions in this statement are that it's okay to do this. So your nervous system automatically starts tapping into resources and rationalization functions that support why you can have it. So it starts coming up with reasons why you can do this and freeing up the energies and the vibrational experiences that allow you to become this person. I don't know if that might have got a little heavy, but did anybody else besides Richard do this? Frank, what'd you notice? You felt the intention setting in. When you compare this experience to the affirmation that you did previously, the old way, was there a difference? It was similar, but it was more powerful. Tammy says, yes, very much. That's what I mean. Okay? The idea of an affirmation, the idea of an affirmation is correct. And the old way works. The problem with it is that it takes too long, too many repetitions. But when you structure the statement in a way that the nervous system organically already does things, this is called cause and effect language, by the way, if you want to know what this is. When you structure things in cause and effect terms, your unconscious mind, your deep nervous system automatically processes the statement with the same certainty as an actual belief you already have. So your brain says, oh, I can do that. That's true. Okay. Right? So the idea here is you control your state, you take the things you want to manifest, you plug them into this structure. Now remember, the unconscious mind always answers first. It always answers honestly. It always feels like you're making it up. You always have an urge to edit what just came up. It's never loud and it's never linear. Now, there's many different layers to the human being. Some are very rock solid, some are very, very wooey and vibrational and energetic and subjective and intangible from a physiological perspective. But this filter is pervasive through the entire continuum of a human being. And because it's consistent and it has to be there, it's stupid not to use it. Now, for those of you who are influence students, when you come to Defense Against the Dark Arts or Killer Influence or the NLP practitioner training or CPI or any of our language training courses, this is one of the very first language patterns you'll learn. Okay? Because this is the literal language of belief. All beliefs are stated in cause and effect terms. And when you use this structure intentionally, and there's 2 or 3 more levels at least to this, we could get even more powerful. Your brain will process it with the same level of certainty as something you believe. Okay? So Lisa's got money affirmation. I am becoming a millionaire so that I will make an impact and be a blessing to others. Excellent. That's very good. Now try it this way, Lisa. Try, I am becoming a millionaire because I am going to impact and be a blessing to other people. Or because I will make an impact and be a blessing to other people. Try both of them and tell me if there's any difference that you feel when you say them out loud. All right. Well, that's probably true, Richard. Okay. So you should have at least one of these structures for each of the things you want to manifest. True, not true? If you've been following instructions anyway. Lisa says, I just smile. Doesn't it feel good? Let me ask you a question. Did you smile like that when you did other affirmations differently? Isn't that interesting? Because all of a sudden, because your state is in a certain way, the language structures are the most desirable to your nervous system. Your entire system loves it, right? If all you did was take everything you want to manifest, create information structures like this, speak them into a recording, and just listen to them all day long, your life will change. There you go, right? Tammy's like, I am becoming a millionaire because I impact and help others as well as myself. Perfect. Perfect. Structurally correct. It's the structure that makes the magic, guys. Remember, the autonomic nervous system, the deep levels of your unconscious, everything it does is based on the structure of the communication, not the exact words. Okay? As long as what the nervous system creates, the nervous system accepts. If you come up with it, your neurology will accept it. And if you use the right structure, it has no choice but to accept it. Do you follow what I'm saying? Does it make sense? Well, it doesn't have to make sense. This is how it is, right? You don't have to believe it. Try to deny it. Use this structure on yourself. Try to fight it and notice what happens instead. You can't fight your own words, right? And this is what Richard Bandler would like to say we would call superior thinking. Tammy says, or should I say, I am a millionaire? Because, well, here's the thing, they're not mutually exclusive. Test each one and see which one feels right to you, right? And if one is more provocative, notice where in your body that feeling you're provoking that makes you feel like it's not quite right is located, and now you've found a limiting belief you did not know you had. Remember, there's only two polarities you're going to get from this exercise. It's either going to be something good or it's going to be something yucky. When the yuckiness emerges, point to where you feel it, unpack it, and attack it. Does that make sense? So Lisa says, I am feels best. Use that. Use that. Good. I am is a very powerful statement. But that's a different class for a different day. All right, so we've got our informations, we've got the things we're going to do. Your assignment now is to make a list for each of the 5 things that you wrote down that you want to manifest as a byproduct of tonight's training. I want you to write at least 10, 20 is better, informations using this structure. I want you to speak them into a recording device. And I want you to listen to them every night as you fall asleep. Let me say that 2 more times. I want you to write at least 5 to 10 of these. I want you to speak them into a recording device. And I want you to listen to them every night for the next 30 days or more as you're falling asleep. 30 is good, 60, 80, 90 is better. But let's see what happens, right? Let's see if maybe life doesn't start to change a little bit. Richard said, is it unusual that a song matching the mood comes to your head? Not at all. My unconscious mind is constantly communicating with me and sending me messages through songs, song lyrics. Constantly. And I used to ignore it, right? And then I realized what was actually happening, right? Okay. So Lisa, go back to your list on your mirror, rewrite them in this structure and say them to yourself and see if there's a difference. Don't take my word for it. Apply the technique, notice the difference. If you like the difference, keep it. If you don't like it, go back to what you were doing. Okay. Well, Richard, most things in manifestation are games of love. Okay. Let me look at my YouTubers here, see what's going on. All right. So this is information level one. We've got two or three more, at least two or three more levels to this that we could go. Right. Um, but is this useful? Yes or no? Cool. All right. Let's talk about clearing shit, shall we? All right. So before we do, um, oh, I'm small again. Uh, can you guys see me okay? So once again, we have the Hidden Laws of Attraction home study course valued at $1,997. You've got the Vibrational Influence Special Edition valued at $2,497. You've got Vibrational Healing Special Edition valued at $2,497. You've got the Soulmate Secrets Masterclass and Secrets of Personality Transformation. And then, of course, you have our super fast action bonuses, which are the Attraction Mastery Home Study Course, as well as the 3-month NLP Power Trial Mastermind and the VIP Super Ticket to our next upcoming Virtual Healing Intensive. Total value on that is $18,076. You can get it all for one low installment of just $797, or you can break that up into 3 installments of $397 each. All you got to do is click the links that appear in your chat. Go to www.nlppower.com/HLOA. It's www.nlppower.com/HLOA. All right. And we're going to come into our poop clearing session. So let's go ahead and jump back to Captain OneNote here. Let's see where you're at. Okay, my Zoom is now giving me fits. So let's see what's going on with that. Yeah, this has definitely got to be upgraded. Okay. All right. Well, can you guys see me okay? Let me see where's my Zoom link? I'm having some trouble with my, hold on a second, guys. I'm sorry. Okay. That little glitch keeps happening where it moves me to a different screen and I can't find the chat. All right. So now what we're going to do, hey, he is real. How about that, right? All right. So I want you to look at your list. When we were going, I want you to speak the information for each one of your things you want to manifest. Okay. As you speak it, I want you to become aware. I want you to become aware of where in your body any icky, naggy feelings show up. So go through, say each information a couple of times each. Notice where icky, naggy feelings come up. And if you find at least one, type done in the chat. Okay. Now remember, now some of these might be so clean that you don't have any limiters. So with that's just what's the word I'm looking for? It's a bonus. But a lot of the times when we go to manifest something, we're running smack dab into a wall or a library of limiting beliefs. Okay, so Tammy's not feeling anything icky. Okay, great. Fantastic. Excellent. All right, then here's what we're going to do. For the sake of practice, all right, think of something on a scale of 1, 2, or 3 that's less than positive that you'd like to get rid of. You don't need to tell me what it is. Just think of what it is. Notice where in your body you feel that and point to it, right? Now, for this next set of processes, I don't want you to type anything in the chat until I tell you, right? I want you completely absorbed and focused in this process, okay? This is called the magic frame. The magic frame is probably the single most important technique besides image cycling, information, for manifestation. And the reason for that is that many times when we have certain episodes in our life, our unconscious mind is operating on a set of prime directives. One of those prime directives is to keep you safe and keep you alive. It is not to keep you happy. It's to keep you safe, right? And your unconscious mind, especially at the deep reptilian level, if I can use that term, equates any form of pain with the threat of death. There's not a lot of wiggle room from a reptilian perspective. And so that deep level unconscious part of you, the part of you that wants to keep living, will attach arbitrary rules to certain types of experiences and certain types of activities to keep you from getting injured or experiencing that kind of pain again. Okay. So what happens is it assigns these things we call safety rules. Okay. What I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes. Think of that thing you want to change. Notice there's a place in your body where that feeling starts, where it grows, where it spreads from. Take a moment, notice where you feel that and point to it. Now, if there was a picture floating in the space around you, a picture that represented that feeling in your body that you want to change, a picture that you could physically reach out and touch, where would you reach out to touch that? First impression. Just reach out and touch it. Now take both of your hands. Trace the outline of that picture with both of your hands until you know, and so you know how big it is. And to make sure we've got the right one, just grab it, open it up, and make the picture bigger. And notice what happens. Do the feelings get stronger or do they get weaker? Now, it doesn't really matter how it changes. What's important is that you notice how it changes, right? Now put it back to its original size. Keep the size of the picture exactly the same size now. Slowly pull it closer to your body. Notice what happens to the feelings. Do they get stronger or do they get weaker? Once you know what that is, put it back to where you got it. Now, your imagination with your body, draw a big, thick, black frame around that picture. Now, most of you are too young to remember when televisions had real dials and knobs and switches instead of touch screens and remote controls. I want you to feel along the base of that frame. You're going to notice some dials and knobs and switches like on a touch screen or old style television. Find the knob that controls the brightness or the contrast. Turn that knob all the way to the right until the image whites out completely. Notice how that makes you feel. Turn the image all the way to the left till the image blacks out completely. Notice how that makes you feel. Notice which one you like better. Decide which one you like better. Whatever that is, if you like it all whited out, turn it all the way to the white. If you like it blacked out, turn it all the way to the black. If it's some other color, find the knob and turn the knob until the color changes to what you want it to be. Then I want you to take the index finger of your dominant hand, and in glowing golden letters across that blackened out, whited out, or otherwise colored out screen, there were some lessons that this experience had to teach you, positive or negative. I want you to write those lessons across that colored out screen so you can keep all the lessons and let everything else go. Now, some people know exactly what those lessons are, and they write them on the screen like it's going out of style, like it's nobody's business. Some people have no conscious idea what those lessons are, but the part of you that created those feelings, that created those memories, that created that picture, that part of you always knows what those lessons are. So give control of that finger to that part and let it write on the screen using whatever alphabet language it uses, everything that needs to be kept, all the lessons, so you can keep all the lessons and let everything else go. Now the screen will scroll like a tablet scroll, so you have an unlimited writing space. My wife, when she does this, she writes for like 40 minutes at a time. It's like she's writing a chapter for War and Peace or something. Some people draw squiggles. Some people draw pictures. Some people go into a rage mode and go write F-U, F-U, F-U across the screen. Some people write with both hands simultaneously. They're writing Chinese or Hebrew at the same time. However your body does it, just keep writing. If feelings and emotions come up, put them on the screen too. As they come up, they come out. As you feel it, you reveal it. As you reveal it, you heal it. Solved, dissolved, and resolved from the body. Solved, dissolved, and resolved from the mind for all the right reasons. Keep writing until you know you're done. And that could take as long or as short as it needs to, right? When you know you're done, and only when you know you're done, I want you to reach up, shrink that picture down to the size of a postage stamp or even smaller. Notice how the feelings in your body shift and change as your other than conscious mind takes that frame, moves it up over the top of your head, all the way back beyond the horizon. Feel it sink down below the horizon till it disappears completely. And you all know the sound a hammer makes when you're banging on a nail. Feel it nailed back there for all eternity and possibly come back. When you know it's nailed back there for all eternity and possibly come back, test it. Try to bring the old feelings back, try to turn the new feelings off, and notice what happens instead. When you're satisfied, and only when you're satisfied, stop testing, scan your body, notice how different you feel, and tell me what you discovered. Lisa says a new picture appeared. Is that a good picture, Lisa? Is that a picture you want? Yes, very good. Quick. Could you get the old feelings back? No. How about that, huh? Now there's a whole system behind this. The writing popped out of me like a negative of a regular picture, no old feelings. Good, right? It's either something you want more of or something you want less of. It's very simple, right? The way your neurology encodes experience through your spatial memory is anything that travels behind you, your neurology automatically classifies as overdone and complete. Now, that's all you really need to know, right? Because anything you want to get rid of or anything you want to be over, move it behind you as far as you can and nail it back there, right? So this is called the magic frame. The magic frame is probably one of the single, now I'll be honest with you, I'm probably more known for the magic frame than anybody, but the magic frame that I teach is based on a technique I learned from somebody else who did not use it this way. But I saw the potential of it, and it's become one of the most important techniques that we use here in Planet David, because everything that holds you back, everything that keeps happening, Tammy said, it's just gone. How about that, huh? Right? Is it really that easy? Yeah. Many times it is. Why? It's because we understand the system. I didn't make this up. I'd like to say I did, but I didn't. I observed it. I found the pieces in various systems. I watched what consistently happened, and I started putting them together in different combinations until this happened. Frank says, I waved my hand in the air like I was conducting an orchestra. Then around the time you said, fold it and throw it away, the words came to me one by one. Very, very good. Each and every one of you are going to take this technique and reach the same goal, but you're going to experience it differently. And that's the magic and the beauty of the creator's work, in that each and every one of us are very, very different, but not that much. And once we understand how the system works, not necessarily from a neurotransmitter level or this part of the brain makes this happen, but how it all works together, we can unlock the magic that is the birthright of every human being in this dimension. You are literally made of magic, my friends. And manifestation is our modern way of saying magic, right? So, your second assignment is to go through the rest of your list. And if there's any icky, naggy stuff, point to where you feel it, reach out and touch it, frame it, write the lessons, shrink it down, nail it behind you, and move on. Jax, I don't know why it's weaker, but it's probably some change that you've gone through that's manifesting weaker this time. Play with different angles, directions, and positions and notice if that manages or modulates the experience. Jack says massive changes. Okay. Right. Remember that all we are at our core, to get kind of quantum on you guys, all we are is really just light and sound, light and vibration. We're different nested levels of vibrational frequencies communicating and intercommunicating with other levels. So when our emotional density changes, our vibrational density changes, and the refraction, the angle of refraction, that is us, changes too, right? We call this holographic memory theory, or holonomic memory theory, right? So me still living is saying, couldn't bring back bad feelings and I feel light. So I put good things on the board. Was that right at hand? As long as it makes you feel good and is moving you towards the things you want, it's always right. Okay? It's really, really simple. All right, that's about Frank, I call it holographic memory theory. Or you could think of it as holonomic information processing. I just coined that term, but I've been using holographic memory theory for quite some time. All right. So that being said, for those of you who are on the fence, this is the last call. For those of you who want this, click your links right now. The Hidden Laws of Attraction home study course valued at $1,997. You get the Vibrational Influence UK home study course, $24.97. We're going to give that to you free. Vibrational Healing, $24.97 for free. Secrets of Personality Transformation, Soulmate Secrets Masterclass, Attraction Mastery 4-day intensive, the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Practice Group Trial with the 14-year archive, and the free VIP super ticket to our next virtual healing intensive. Our Father's Day special, we're taking $200 off the regular package price. So you can get it all for one low installment of just $797. It's an $18,076 value. All you got to do to grab yours is click the links in your chat, go to www.nlppower.com/HLOA. Please click those links so I can continue to mentor and guide you and unlock the magic that is truly within you and is your birthright. On that note, how do I get out of this thing? Well, that works too. On that note, in the words of the immortal Carol Burnett, I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh or sing a song. Seems we just got started, and before you know it, comes the time we have to say. I can't do these hard things to save my life. So long. I hope you had a good time. I hope you learned some cool stuff. Please use these skills. Report back to us. Let us know how you do. If you're having questions about any of your product, please give us a shout out at David at NLP, or not David, Mia and Moss at NLPpower.com. Call us at 858-282-4663. And Brandon, Moss, and if Mia's out there somewhere, thank you